And good morning. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'll get Would You Rather Wednesday scenarios posted here in just 1 second. Nice. The kids were able to go back to school today. Sure, 2 hours late. Why not? Make it 10 hours late, huh? It screws up my schedule because my wife then had to go into work late so that she could take the kids to school late. So now I have to leave here early because now I got it. It's a whole... Just go to school! Why the hell do they need 2 more hours today?
Kind of like... I always kind of like thinking about maybe we could do every day a 2-hour delay.
Yeah,
sure.
Sure. Why did they need to? There wasn't any new snow last night.
Well, it could have gotten
It
cold.
was the same thing.
It's cold.
Right. Is that changing in 2 hours?
Yeah, the sun comes out.
What's that going to do?
It goes from 22 degrees to 24, 25.
Right. Changes it. As you can tell, the snow's all gone now. Very dramatically different than if they just would have gone to school.
So you're right.
2 hours
No, you're
ago.
right. You're right. There should have been no school today. That's what should have happened.
What am I missing? What am I missing? It's one thing if you're like, hey, there's supposed to be some more snow tonight, so let's a 2-hour delay so we can assess in the morning. Sure. Get it. What? Why? There's a lot of things that I have questions about in my life. The decision making when it comes to this is very high on the list. I cannot fathom. The neat part about my kids' school is apparently the first 2-hour late day of the year, the kids are all allowed to wear their pajamas to school.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know.
Why didn't I go to that school?
I mean, it's ironically, I wore my pajamas to school every day in high school. In high school, I was pajama guy. I was Dave Matthews Band fan. I was I participated in certain extracurricular activities. And I wore my pajamas to school. People would say, that's weird. I'd say, for who? For me, it's perfectly fine. This is the way I want it. Pajamas every day. It was great. It's great. People would be like, don't you want to maybe impress the ladies? I'd say, how could it get more impressive? How? Look at all this. How are you getting more impressive than this? Good morning, Glenn Clark Radio. All right, Drew's going to be here in a bit. Sorry. Nothing we could do about that. A little bit later on, Brenda Frese will join us. Big game tonight. Maryland, USC, top 10 showdown. The only time Juju Watkins will be coming to College Park, as they will not be here next year, and the presumption would be that she's out after 3 years. So you want to check out the phenomenon in college basketball, this is your chance to do it tonight. We'll talk to Brenda Frese about that big game coming up a little bit later on, and who knows, stuff and things perhaps on the horizon as well. And speaking of big basketball in the area, how about the CIAA tournament?
That's right. Baltimore is welcoming the excitement of the Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament. Once again, back to Baltimore at the CFG Bank Arena from February 25th through March 1st. Make sure you get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Again, the Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament at CFG Bank Arena from February 25th through March 1st. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
A couple things from yesterday. Really regret not going over to Morgan after I suggested to Patrick that maybe I could. Thriller against NC Central. Cameron Hobbs scored 40 points, including a game-winning 3 in double overtime.
Man.
There's this guy. Yeah, he's trying to get his TGM. He's very excited about the Bay, whatever it is. Just stop. No one cares about. Just sit down.
No one else can hear him right now either.
It's no one cares. Sit down. Sit down.
Do you guys want? I'm going to order 4 total. Do you guys want?
Also, how about Tennessee last night?
Sheesh. Oh, my God.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
I would have hated to have had the over on that game.
What was the number?
It was 150. I had the over. It was.
Oh.
We weren't even close.
No?
Never. It would never had a chance, actually.
What was it, 70?
73-43.
43, yeah. 43 was the number. How would you know? How would you know?
Well, I read up on it.
Oh, yeah? You're thinking about doing sports now? That's something that you're
What's weird is I know more about it than you.
Oh, tell me what you know about.
Well, I knew the score.
I mean, I knew essentially the score.
It was a blowout.
It was an ass kicking.
Yeah. I thought Tennessee was good.
I
thought Maryland was good.
Well, yeah, that's a fair question.
The only outlier is the Washington game. Everybody's all upset, but that's the game.
I mean, the outlier, yeah, sure.
Honestly,
that was
everybody's
going to
lose at Purdue, and 90% of the teams are going to lose at Oregon. Not many are
Not
going to lose
Illinois.
at Washington.
Not Illinois. They're going to win by 30 when they play at Oregon.
No, they won't.
Well, they did.
Oh, they did.
You know sports.
Well, that big guy
Mr.
Coburn is
Sports.
still jamming it in there, isn't he?
Sure. Name all the guys
Kofi
that you know
Kofi Coburn
played at Illinois over there.
Where is he, by the way?
Terrence Shannon. Let's just keep
Where
going.
is? Did he make it in the league?
I think he did, didn't he? I don't think he got.
I remember
drafted,
I
thought
saw
he got
him play his absolute first conference.
Nope, I'm wrong. He's in the Korean
He's in the-
basketball league.
He didn't make it in the
Good league.
NBA.
I thought
That's
he had,
unbelievable.
I thought somebody gave him a look.
I saw his first game ever.
He was with the Utah Jazz. I did have that part right. He was with the Jazz, and then
Okay.
they gave up. He signed with the Seoul Samsung
Imagine being
Thunder.
7'2" and someone gives up on you.
Yeah, just like, nah, we're all right.
The first game he ever played was in D.C. and
Was it in
he
DC,
made
or
it
did they
a
play it in
College Park.
Who did they? Who would they have played in
He
DC?
made it about 24 minutes
Yeah,
before Brett Underwood said, "All right, you can't get up and down the court. Enough's enough."
I've seen enough here. Seen enough.
Imagine being 7'2" and someone saying to you, "You know what? We're good."
Yeah, right. We'll find. Have you ever met Chris Karlheim from WBAL?
No.
He's I think they're like assistant program director.
Okay.
I had never met him before. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's a great guy." I had I don't remember where I was, but I bumped into. He's 6'10".
Oh my gosh.
He's 6'10",
Wow.
and like I think we were
Strapping young man.
we were sitting down wherever we were, and it's like you don't even notice. And then he stood up, and I'm like, "Holy shit!"
How'd you do in the snow?
I mean, how'd I do in this?
Well, how'd you guys do? Were you guys here Monday? You weren't here Monday, right?
No, we worked from home on Monday.
Oh, you did the show, but
Yeah,
you
we
didn't know.
did the
That's
show
pretty
from
funny.
home. That's a new.
Okay.
This is you want to know what really happened on Monday? Griffin decided he didn't want to come to work.
Well,
How is that what it is?
happened.
How is
yeah,
that what
I mean,
happened?
did
I
you?
had, I had
Were
said,
you around for the
snow.
snow?
Yeah, where you were, there was real snow. Like where
Here.
you were, it
You
was
didn't get clobbered?
3 inches. Like it was totally manageable.
You,
Yeah, I know.
you-
Go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Leave it
Go
al-
ahead. Do
leave it. Leave
no,
it.
no, please, by all means. What you got?
Leave it alone.
I'm hoping for some new material. I'm hoping you might have.
There,
Yeah.
there was.
Yeah.
I had just been married.
Yeah.
I had been married. Maybe we got
Mhm.
married in. Oh boy. Oh, July. Might have been that winter, or it might have been the next one. But it was relatively close after our marriage vows, and we're laying in bed, and it's one of those, Baltimore and Washington are going to get absolutely annihilated. Batten down the hatches. Go buy all your beer and all your, your bread and get your toilet paper. Going to get clobbered. And then it goes 50 miles north, and we hardly got anything. We're laying in bed, and I'm just sort of dozing. I'm kind of half awake, and Jim Cantor says, Baltimore and D.C., you guys thought you were going to get 8 inches,
Yep.
but you got more like 4.
Mhm.
And under her breath, my wife goes, "Yeah, where have we heard that before?"
There we go.
And I'm like,
Forrester, ladies and gentlemen. Magooby's on Friday night.
and I said to her,
Wow, that's a
I
big
used the line from The Hangover. I'm like, I'm here, right?
I'm right. I can hear you.
And
I can hear you.
I'm right here.
There we go. That's
Oh
our
man,
guy.
but that did really happen. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
That really did happen. And I'm pretty sure Cantor did it on purpose. Like back when
I'm
John
sure of
Madden
that,
used to
yeah.
go,
Yeah.
he could take it up the A-hole, the B-hole,
Right.
the C-hole, but instead he wants to take it up the A-hole.
Yeah.
And then he snickers and goes, got him there. You think anybody picked up on that?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the whole country's like,
100%.
oh my God.
100%.
Did
All
you
right.
see the one on Sunday at the Patriots game
No.
where I think it was Spiro Deeds. He had the Patriots game, and they hit and Keyshawn Booty scored a touchdown. And he said, "Oh, he hit him, Booty wide open."
Oh, no.
Mm,
Oh.
Yeah.
mm.
Well, that
Booty
was
wide
planned
open.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah.
they Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah,
As soon as he says that, he hits
right.
kills the mic
Right.
and goes,
Got that one. Got that one.
All right. So what else? Anything else? Are we good?
No, I think that's it. Thanks for stopping by.
Good.
Appreciate
Good seeing you.
it. It's been good to see you.
What do you think our game plan's going to be? Ravens' game plan's going to be against the Bills. We've
Yeah.
thrown it. We've
It's
running
funny.
it.
It's
What
so
are we
funny
doing?
you say that. Like I was.
What are we doing?
We have to do a real show tonight on the radio, not this cockamamie nonsense.
Did I get a GM over there? I mean,
They do. They have a program director.
Who is it?
I've already forgotten his name. Something Jameson.
From
Scott?
where?
No.
Detroit, I believe is where he came from.
Oh wow! So I mean,
Yeah.
someone took this job.
Yeah, someone moved their life to work
What?
with Jeremy Kahn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Scott
Any
Jameson.
significant changes at all?
Dog, I'm scheduled to be there tonight. I don't know.
Yeah, you better double check that
Yeah, right.
because I'm supposed to be there tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. That's really strange how that worked out.
You haven't heard yet, Drew, Glenn, and Rita.
Oh, we're doing that again. Huh?
Drew, you haven't
was,
heard
That
Drew.
was a time.
You haven't heard Drew and Rita.
Really weird. They haven't asked me about Martin Luther King Day yet. Haven't gotten. Starting to think that maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's how Chuck wound up getting the heave-ho.
Oh.
Is there were too many of these guys over there taking days off.
It was there were a lot of holidays. There were an insane.
I've never
number of
seen. I mean,
holidays
look, I
over
like
there.
all those guys over there. God bless them. And maybe
Well, I don't
if
think they chose to take them off. I think they had to take all of them off.
Okay, but there are a lot of times when I turn the radio on, someone, and I mean when I say someone, I'm not wink wink. I mean someone. One of the
like
one of the 8
crew.
people
Yeah.
that's supposed to be on every day isn't on. It's very rare that a day goes by when they all are on at the same time.
Dog, I'm not.
It's amazing.
You know what's nice about not being involved?
It's amazing.
I'm not involved. I have nothing.
So they
to
got
say
a
about the
program
topic.
director.
They got a
All
program
right.
director.
Well, anyway, what are we
Anyway,
doing against the Bills?
Yeah, no. So I was thinking about topics for the real radio show tonight,
Right.
and one of them was going to be like, are we being too dismissive of this on Saturday?
Of course we are. We're going to beat their ass.
I'm stunned that it's Ravens Steelers, and that it's almost in lockstep. Like
It's a fait accompli.
nobody almost
They're
cares
not
about.
beating us.
There is no movement on tickets. There's just no interest in Ravens Steelers in a playoff game in Baltimore. So, I mean, it's never happened before.
It's
There's
funny you say
never
that.
been a Ravens Steelers playoff game in Baltimore ever. That's never occurred.
Right.
And yet there is.
You're
just,
stealing my thunder for tomorrow. Drew's morning
that's
dish.
what you're writing about?
Pretty much.
There's no juice.
Yeah.
There's none. And I get that, like, there's mitigating factors here, but I would have thought that Ravens Steelers.
But what's the mitigating factor? Because I am going to write about this.
I think the mitigating factor is that there's very much wake us up when it's the AFC.
Oh, gotcha.
Championship game. Like that,
You're just saying in general it's a mitigating factor that, and I've been saying this about Lamar as it relates to the MVP discussion. All of this is eyewash. He could win 5 of these things. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, his career scarlet letter will be the same as Dan Marino's.
correct.
He didn't win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that guy. He was great.
Right.
Hall of Famer. He never won a Super Bowl. And so you're right. The mitigating factor for this team is if you guys can do all these, you can win 38-10 tomorrow. You can beat Buffalo 28-27. If you go to Kansas City and lose 33-30, it's you flopped.
And so I think
Okay, so that's fair.
I think that's a big part of that this week. The comparison to 2012 to me is significant, where if that wasn't Ray Lewis's final game in Baltimore, no one would have cared about that game against the Colts. If Ray Lewis hadn't announced he was retiring, it would have been a game. Wake me up when it's a real game. Like, wake me up when you get to this is the burden.
I don't know if I totally agree with that, but okay.
It's the
They hadn't been.
They had just been in the AFC Championship game the year before.
Yeah.
Like, this was the reality of the circumstances. This is.
I think you're going to say I'm crazy when I tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
I think there is a somewhat legitimate chance the Ravens host the Chargers in the AFC Championship game. I don't think it's that far-fetched.
That far-fetched?
I really don't. I'm telling you. I think the Chargers can go to Kansas City and beat them.
Could they? Sure.
Their defense is good enough, and they could win that game the same way that I hate to bring it up. They could win that game the same way that the Chargers beat the Ravens 4 years ago or 5 years ago, by just get an early touchdown, stymie Mahomes, knock the ball out of somebody's hand. All of a sudden it's 10-0, then it's 10-7, then it's 17-7, and they hold on to win 20-17.
I hear.
I'm telling you.
I hear everything that you're saying, and I'm not saying it's impossible.
And then it's Chargers 30, Ravens 24, and we lose.
Right.
We lose again at home.
Oh my God, the city would burn.
Oh, man.
I have much more reverence for this Chiefs team than I think a lot of other people do. I think we've.
Oh, I'm not dismissive of them. I just think
I think there's
every
something-
dog has their day, and they're due for one of
right.
these.
Yeah, some of that I agree with, but I would say really what they do and what we don't respect enough because we just call it luck.
Well, you're missing something when you talk about them. You have to say what they and the referees do.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. And look,
What they and the referees.
Teamwork is important.
No doubt.
You're a coach. You
No
know
doubt.
that.
What they and the referees do is very hard to beat.
You got to work together.
Just add referees in there every time.
We call it luck, and look, man. It dumbfounds me as much as it dumbfounds everyone else. But what we don't give them enough respect for is they do not conspire when the game is on the line.
Correct.
They will not help you. They will not do anything to make your. They're not going to commit a dumb penalty and give you 15
and their
yards.
quarterback, who I still think is the best in the league,
yes, 100%.
is now savvy enough that look at the throw he made last year to that scrub that won the game for him. He doesn't make a mistake when the game is on the line. And in fact probably does the opposite, which is comes up with something out of nowhere when you need him to make a mistake. Like that throw last year, I remember like it was yesterday, turning to Ethan and saying, "This is the game.
Yep.
If they make a first down here, the game's over."
But the reverence I have for this Chiefs team,
and he knew that. And
he did
made
that
a great
last
throw.
year with Kadarius Toney
and
the
Scantling dude,
Sky Moore, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Right.
This year, you can say these guys are not murderers row, but in comparison to what he had to work with last
Hopkins
year,
is way better. Kelsey's
Xavier Worthy.
Worthy's legit.
Gray has come along to be a legitimate.
Worthy was a
starting
great
tight end.
pick for them.
Was a tremendous.
I mean, if
pick
you
for
think
them.
about, they got the last pick in the first round.
And Hollywood Brown, we can snicker and do whatever we want, but Hollywood Brown with Patrick Mahomes was always going to work. That was always going to be a combination that was going to, in the same way that it worked with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore.
You subscribe to the Chargers picked up Zeke so that they wouldn't, so the Chiefs wouldn't?
No.
Okay.
No.
You're not buying that?
There's not.
Okay.
I don't subscribe to there being any reason for anyone to pick up Ezekiel Elliott. That guy is Dunn called and said,
"Give it
this
up."
This guy's a little.
Dunn called and said, "You're looking a little weary."
Yeah.
I love it.
He's gone.
Anyway, I hear you, and I'm with you. I mean, we said this a month ago about the Steelers. Like, something has changed over time. We all know what that is. Something has changed as it relates to the rivalry. It's just player personnel. It's all changed. The coaches are the same, but they even like each other now, which is weird. But for this specific game, you would think there would be a lot more anticipation and fervor. You know, that, hey, man, if they beat us, our season ends.
Correct.
They're not beating us. You know, like there isn't any of that because we all think we're going to win 38-10.
If it was a Ben Roethlisberger Steelers, that's another mitigating factor to me. There's just we don't have animosity towards Russell Wilson. He's just a guy.
I think
in this context.
and I would say I agree with that, and I would say in some ways, I don't want to say we like Mike Tomlin. That's not true.
For Mike
but there's
Tomlin.
there's a respect in Baltimore for him that might, and maybe it is like that. Maybe it was like that with Belichick too. Maybe we didn't hate Belichick, but there is a respect level. I think most people in Baltimore. And it's funny because the two cities are very similar, by the way. They want him fired too up there.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Like
they're just like
our
our
never
nuts.
Does is win, and yet, 100%.
Not only does all they do up there is win, air quotes, because they have had a couple of off years, but by and large,
they've never had a losing season.
I know. Well, they had one.
No, they've never had
I know
a losing season.
They had the 8-8.
Yes.
But it's interesting. They've done it in a little bit similarly to the way we've done it, minus one of the best players in the history of the league on our team. They don't have anybody like that unless you want to say T.J. Watt is
T.J. Watt's certainly one of the best players of this modern era.
He's a Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. He's a top 10 defensive player of this generation.
Yep.
But other than that, the model of the teams has largely been the same, which is offense has been defense has been good, and they win a lot of close games. That's, whether or not it's because they've had good. One thing we have had in common, both of us, we've always had good kickers.
You just said, like in the history, that was the case, but the Ravens are now.
No, right. But I'm saying as in the Tomlin Harbaugh
Yeah.
in
the early years of this,
in the
that's
whole
exactly
history
right.
of the franchise,
Right.
the teams were largely built the same
Correct.
way.
Correct.
Right? Ben was better than Flacco. And their offense was kind of better, but our defense was always better, even though they had good players, right? We were always a smidgen better on defense. They were always a smidgen better on offense. It was a nice balance. Now it's insane.
Somewhere around the mid 2000s, it changed. At some point, they said, "We recognize we're all Ben Roethlisberger. Like we're going to throw the ball 50 times a game. That's what we're going to be. We're going to score 30-some points a game." Our identity is Ben Roethlisberger. It's not really about the defense. There might still be some good players, but this is our identity. So we need to just draft wide receivers every year, draft 2 to 3 wide receivers every year, continue to hit. Everybody will talk about how great we are at drafting wide receivers because what they don't recognize is that we're drafting 3 of them every year, and they're forgetting about Sammy Coates and
Lima Swede.
Christ, that guy.
That was terrible.
And all of the many guys that weren't very good because all you were Marcus Wheaton. Because
who was the dude that got
James
booted?
Washington.
Who got booted out of the league for weed about 8 times?
Martavis
Bryant.
Yeah,
he was good,
right.
though. He was good until he got kicked out of the league.
He had a moment.
But they've also, in fairness to them,
Chase Claypool.
They've also,
Deontay Johnson.
They've also had some good ones in there for sure.
Yes, because they just kept swinging. They said this is our identity.
We couldn't draft one.
We just have to swing as much as possible. It was the thing that I always kept saying about the Ravens.
Well, they had a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yes,
right.
They did.
And what would be an interesting argument, but water cooler conversation, had I know this is always the big bee in your bonnet. Had the Ravens given Joe the same sort of emphasis on receivers and been successful, because they did give Joe a lot of receivers. Yeah. They did. Go back and look at the draft. They did. The problem is none of them were any good.
They gave Joe?
Yeah. They drafted a lot of wide receivers. The problem was they were no good. That was the problem. Now, they may not have drafted
late-round receivers.
Round
receivers,
late-round
receivers,
yeah.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
They did not prioritize receiver in the early rounds of the draft.
But what's early to you? First three rounds? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
First 3
rounds.
So
who were the first 3 round receivers they drafted for Joe?
Perriman.
Okay. Who was great.
Ed Dixon was drafted in the 3rd round.
Okay, Ed Dixon, he's a tight end, but
it's not really a...
Stick with us there.
Dennis Pitta was drafted in the 4th.
Stick with us there, kid.
we said receiver.
Stick with us.
I'm going over pass catchers.
Okay, I like it.
I understand what you're saying, offended. But we did say wide receivers.
Don't get mad. Go
and
sing
again,
some Hall notes for us.
It's basically Torrey Smith and Brashad Perriman.
Okay.
Tannen Dulce was drafted in the 4th round.
Who?
I said top 3 rounds.
Okay, but Antonio Brown was drafted. You and I might argue.
To be fair, they found somebody.
You and I might argue on 3 and 4, but it doesn't matter.
But they did both.
But keep going. I'm making a point about Joe.
That's the list.
Okay, but I'm going to make a point about Joe that you're going to like.
Crockett Gilmore 3rd round.
There you go. Yep, you're out.
Yeah,
see, he beat you.
He got me.
Yeah, right. Had they given Joe quality receivers / pass catchers,
I don't know.
Joe might be a Hall of Famer.
I haven't. Yeah, I'm hard.
Dude, Eli Manning's going to get in.
That's a different story. He has no argument for getting in. They're just going to put him in anyway.
But he's going to get in.
I understand.
I'm telling you, Joe coulda, shoulda, woulda been a Phillip Rivers kind of guy.
I think his career would have been dramatically different had the Ravens given him.
By the way, Rivers never had a whole lot of stuff working for him either.
I mean,
he had Gates.
Gates is okay. Start with that.
But Joe had
nothing like Antonio Gates.
Okay, but Joe had 2 very, very good tight ends to work with.
He had the back end of Todd Heap.
Right.
Then he had Dennis Pitta was a good one.
Right.
Who was it was fleeting. It's comparing that in
but
any way to Antonio
Rivers
Gates
had no wide
nonsense.
receivers. Eddie Royal was decent.
He still had Eddie Royal was there for 2 seconds. Vincent Jackson was really good.
Okay, Vincent
Malcolm
Jackson.
Floyd was definitely better than anything that Joe Flacco had to work with.
I thought we tried to get Malcolm Floyd.
And
it didn't work.
It was a whole thing.
What happened?
Where?
Didn't he say no thanks?
It's exactly.
Didn't he say no?
Well, do you remember how this all?
Didn't they call him
this
and he
was the
said,
only time
I'm trying to buy some white walls?
You and I ever had a spat on the air because I was freaking out about Malcolm Floyd, and I think you had gotten a text from somebody I won't mention that had basically told you it's not happening. And so you were trying to text me while I was doing my show, like, dude, stop screaming about Malcolm Floyd. He's not coming here.
Okay.
And then it actually made me angrier because I was like, what? They don't have anyone. Why in the world would they not be aggressive?
Didn't he tell him no?
Basically,
Malcolm
is what
Floyd said,
happened.
"I'm
He
good."
just said, I'm good.
They said, well, how about if we bring you to Baltimore?
Right.
He said, nah, I'll pass.
I lost it.
I'll pass.
Flipped out.
I'll pass.
You were like, dude, you're wasting your time. Like, you're spending way too many segments on Malcolm Floyd. He's not going to be here because you had gotten a text from somebody.
Right.
And it set me off.
Tell your buddy on the air now. Tell your buddy
Yeah.
he ain't coming.
Yeah, it set.
No, you know what I said? No, I'm good.
Yeah, right.
I'll let him go on for
Yeah,
another
you go.
30 minutes.
You did. You texted me in the middle of the show. You're like, dude, you're spending too much time on Malcolm Floyd. I'm telling you.
He ain't coming.
He's not coming here.
How do you
And
know?
I lost it.
Anyway,
What are they doing? It was like talking about the Orioles.
back to the
right
Steelers.
now. They don't have anyone to catch the ball.
Will there be empty seats Saturday?
Yeah, but not noticeably. Like, there won't. I mean, because
Were you surprised at how many were empty this past Saturday or no?
No, I talked to you about this before. Like, we try to pretend.
No,
like,
I'm asking you if you were
no,
surprised.
we try to
I
pretend
wasn't.
the
Dude, let me
weather-
tell you.
The weather is so much more of a factor
F-
than anyone realizes. It is.
FC, dog.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Yes.
I mean, we stuck it out until right before the Michael Pierce interception. We could have made it. We could have made it the whole time.
You and Ethan.
Yeah. We had great seats. We were right behind the goalpost to the, if you're watching it on the screen, TV screen, we were to the left, where the last touchdown was thrown by Cleveland in that end zone. We were right 25 rows up. We had great seats. And honestly, it never really got uncomfortably cold until the third quarter. The first half wasn't that bad. And that, I guess, maybe because you're not moving around all that much. Then it started to get cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was freaking cold, man. I've been to some games. I went to that Redskins game that year where it was it was a Monday night, I think. It was either a Sunday night or a Monday night because Ed Reed made. Remember, it was the game where Ed Reed made the crazy play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Monday.
That was cold. And the Patriots game that might have been the next week
Mm-hmm.
or the week before was the same way. But the other night, this was tough.
I try to explain that to people.
And it's going to be worse, I think, this Saturday.
there was word that it could snow during the game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be worse.
100%. It's going to be.
I would say this. I was a little surprised at how many people were there.
Oh, I agree with that.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
Well, again, it goes
But
back to what you just said. We were always, even though I know they made it 21-10, we were always going to win.
Right.
The question was just, are we going to cover?
Well, and one thing that
Well,
I noticed,
I mean,
one
that's
thing
what I
that I
heard.
did notice about Saturday is it was still kind of on the tail end of the holidays, and I noticed a lot of families ended up going to the game
Okay.
on Saturday. Like, my timeline was flooded.
I got a hot
with-
take about the Browns.
Oh, a hot take.
I got a hot take about the
What?
Browns. There is no possible way that kid Zappy can't be a starter in the league.
Over who?
There's
I mean,
got to be someone.
If you're, I mean, did you? He got intercepted by Michael Pierce.
Yeah, he threw the ball right to him. I
Yeah.
think that might have been on purpose.
You think that was coordinated?
That kid actually is not bad.
I remember watching him.
I'm
with
telling
the
you,
Patriots.
he's not terrible.
When he got his look at the Patriots the first couple weeks, I was like, man, this kid can play.
Well, he can throw he
Yeah.
throws the ball 97 miles an hour on every throw.
I think the problem is he's as much of an NFL quarterback as Aiden O'Connell is. Like, if you don't have a real quarterback, you could play Bailey Zappi.
All right.
But he's not really a guy that's ever going to be
He
a
throws the ball
difference
so
maker.
hard.
His talent, I have appreciation for, but
How about the fact they brought the other dude in for 2 series, and he was so bad they went back to
we
Zappy.
knew how bad that guy was.
Yeah.
That guy is
Apparently,
dreadful.
at least on Hard Knocks, last night they made it look like that was part of the plan all along,
yeah, I mean,
which
What,
was
bring-
that DTR
bring the
was
guy-
going to come in.
Bring the guy in for
a
2 series and go,
Yeah.
okay, you're good.
just for funsies.
Have a seat.
right? Like, for no reason. There's no reason for
No.
it. Just for fun.
You know, I watch them. I'm always interested in the body language and the dynamics of these teams. I watched them like in their warm up. It's kind of amazing. What are they? What did they finish? 3-14.
Mm-hmm.
They finished 3-14. They have arguably the best, if not one of the top 4 defensive players in the league on their team. He didn't play the other night. What happened to what's his name? The tight end, the big tight end. Is he
Which one,
out?
Njoku?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, he didn't play.
he didn't play. I don't know.
I think he's hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's like hurt and real hurt or
Or
hurt.
I think he
they're-
was,
The
like,
they're-
Lamar,
he was-
the Lamar
they're
leg
3 and
injury
13.
from 3 years
They're
ago, where
like,
he's like, I'm good.
He was definitely hurt at some point this season. So
no, I know
It's
he was
just-
hurt.
it's-
I don't.
I watched them play. It kind of baffles me how maybe in New England's the same, right? How do you get so bad in a league that I understand in baseball. I don't like it, but I get it. Teams that spend $40 million on baseball players generally aren't beating teams that spend $200 million. Generally, there is that disparity
Well, we
in
have-
the talent.
We have the line of
But in-
delineation.
But in NFL,
yeah,
you're all spending $225 million on football
Correct.
players.
but you.
How do you get that bad?
Well, okay.
How's Cleveland that
it's-
bad?
I'm glad you asked this question because this is a topic that I was discussing with.
How are
somebody
they that
recently.
bad?
It's why Bill Belichick said, if my options are the Jaguars or North Carolina, I'll go to North Carolina. Because within the league, and you know this from everybody that you've talked to, they know where the leadership is incompetent. They know. Everybody in the NFL
Well, this was
knows.
always Billick's thing.
Correct.
Billick always would say,
I'm not
if I come back, I'm going to only go to 4 teams.
correct.
And
Because-
if I don't get, because I guess we can all say this now. Like he got very, very close, and I don't remember who he would have been replacing back. I don't remember this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who the Bills hired
Mhm.
before this guy.
It was Malarkey.
Was it Mike Malarkey?
I believe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And I remember Brian saying, and if it was Malarkey, that's fine. I remember Brian saying he talked to the coach, the recently ousted coach, who said, "Don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go up there."
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of it also was that happened at the zenith of Tom Brady.
Malarkey was 04 to 05, so it definitely
It wasn't him then.
Malarkey.
So who was after Mike Malarkey?
God, man, you're asking me
Because
to
they
go
went through
back
2
and-
or 3.
They did. I do remember all of this. Now I got to.
As soon as you say it, I'll know.
God. List of Bills.
But
head
it
coaches.
might have been Malarkey.
Anthony Lynn. Oh,
No.
no, he was.
No,
Doug
listen.
Marrone was 2013 and 2014.
No.
Was
I
it
do
Re-
think it was
Rex?
Malarkey. I think
Well, Malark was still during.
No, but I'm saying when
Okay.
Brian was out,
Got it.
I remember Brian saying, I reached out. I'm
Dick
pretty
Duran was
Ma-
06 to 09.
maybe.
Then they hired Chan Gailey in 2010. That would be lining up with the timeline, right?
Okay.
Like, that would.
But I just remember Brian saying, because we were somewhere
Mhm.
with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember him saying Buffalo was interested in him,
Mm-hmm.
and whoever it was kind of ratted him out and said, "Dude, you don't want to be there. They're not trying." And they were going, might have been Gailey, because they were going through coaches left and right, and they were also in the middle of the zenith of Tom Brady going 14-2 every year, right?
Yep.
You're never beating them.
Yep.
And I remember wherever we were when Brian said this to us, he's like, there are 4 jobs I would take, and all 4 of them are all about the owner.
Yep.
I'd go to Seattle. I'd go to Kansas City. I'd go to, I don't remember who he said. Might have said Green Bay, but he's like, I'm only going to those places.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say this with a smile. I don't need the money.
Right.
He would smirk and go, I don't need the money.
Well, that's the
Give me another bottle of that Camus.
and we can call it ownership / organizational competence. Like that within the building, these people know what they're doing.
Well, there's 6 teams in the league that fit that, frankly.
Yeah, and some that have been.
No, and I mean 6 that fit the elite organizational
correct,
model.
correct.
Elite,
correct.
right?
And you can quarrel with certain things those organizations.
Cincinnati.
do. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay,
right
so
at the
you
top
got
of the list.
Baltimore,
Yes,
Pittsburgh,
yes.
um,
Kansas City, I think, absolutely is in that
1 million
conversation.
%. They're an elite organizational
Right.
franchise.
Mhm.
Green Bay.
It's tough to. Here's what I would say about Green Bay. I'm willing to put them in, but it's tough. It's tough because of the way they're owned,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's not
they're
an
not
owner that's
they're-
direct.
they're-
It's not a
correct.
directive. Right.
They're not really. They're not really owned and moved around, positioned by one person, in the way that the Ravens and the Steelers and the Chiefs have been moved around.
The Broncos have always been treated this way. Now, I don't know what the opinion is. Like that, under the Bolin regime, they were looked at as being that type of organization. I don't know enough about the Walmart family to know, how that's
Philly.
viewed at this
I-
point. Philadelphia's moved into that.
I think
conversation.
Philly is in that range,
Yeah.
although there are a lot of stories about that owner. I
Mhm.
think Seattle is probably
Yes.
like that. Seattle's an elite organization in the league.
Yep.
That hasn't yet. Maybe it's because they're on the West Coast. No bias intended, but there's and obviously New England. Now this
Until, like, 3
latest.
years ago.
So funny.
Now
you
this
say
latest.
that. No, it's what's really funny about that? There are a lot of people that are of the opinion that it's the opposite thing with New England.
I was just going to say.
That-
Now
that
this
you-
latest thing.
Yeah.
They chased off
Yeah.
in some fashion. I still don't know if we really know the details, honest details, about the Brady-Belichick split.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we'll ever know that. But Robert Kraft for whatever reason, let the greatest head coach of the last 50 years get away. Somehow.
To some extent.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow, whether or not it was a power struggle, and Robert Kraft said, "You're not winning this.
Mhm.
I'm the owner."
Mhm.
So I would say, now this week, I'll give Kraft credit. I wrote about it today. He at least manned up and sort of said, "This is all on me." Now that said, he also fired the guy after 1 year, which to me is kind of inexcusable, unless there was
fired him after 1 year without giving him anybody that they could compete with.
That's what I wrote.
Gave him a CFL.
Name 5 guys on
Gave
the
him a
team.
CFL roster.
Name
and
5 guys on the
said,
team.
You didn't do well enough afterwards.
Right. Name 5
right?
guys.
Yeah, I mean, correct. I mean, I could. I absolutely
I
could.
I can't,
But it's-
and I pretty much follow the league, but maybe not like you.
Yo, I mean,
But I don't play fantasy football. Ethan could rattle off 3 because he plays fantasy football.
but the guys I'm going to name, none of them are going to impress you.
Okay.
Like it's Ramondre Stevenson,
Keyshawn
I don't even know who that is.
Antonio Gibson,
Booty.
and Keyshawn Booty.
Okay, I don't know those guys.
Demario Douglas.
Is Gronkowski still with
and-
them?
No, not still with
Edelman.
Austin Hooper is one of their tight ends, and
Edelman's
Hunter
still
Henry
there.
is their
But
other tight
They
end.
gave him no football players.
Correct.
And then they
gave
canned him after a
CFL
year.
roster,
Right.
and then said, "How dare you not win with a CFL roster?" Now it's very possible that Gerard Mayo isn't.
By the way, people forget they beat the Bengals on opening.
They did.
Opening day in
100%.
Cincinnati.
And the Bengals missed.
Bengals would have made the playoffs.
Yes, that's a thing that occurred. And it's very possible that on top of that, Gerard Mayo isn't a
I
capable
remember
head-
that because I got my Survivor pool.
Yeah, you blew up in week
I was
one.
already at my
Yeah.
Survivor pool.
It's possible that Gerard Mayo also is not capable of being an NFL
No-
head
no-
coach.
no
I don't-
question.
I don't know that, but what I know is they didn't give him a competent roster to expect there to be any wins. No one is winning with the roster that Gerard Mayo
No
was
doubt.
given to win with this year. No one. So to judge him by results would be wildly unfair. You gave him nothing, 0.
100% agree.
Now-
and the helmets.
Great point. Thank you. I always appreciate when you remind me of that. There are people. So the flip side is if you don't have extraordinary leadership and competence, then you have to have something, either a head coach or quarterback, that is so great and so charismatic that it can make up for that. Peyton Manning was able to do that in Indianapolis. If you think that the Colts changed into becoming a competent organization, you're nuts. They're not. Peyton Manning was so charismatic, was so overwhelming on the field and off the field that it made up for how dreadful the leadership of the organization was. And you see that post-Peyton Manning. They even had a really good quarterback and couldn't win with him post-Peyton Manning.
Right.
They don't know what they're doing. They're not a well-run organization from top to bottom. It required that dynamicism of Peyton Manning in order for them to move into that category. There are a lot of people that believe that Robert Kraft isn't really that guy and that he just happened to stumble into the greatest circumstances you could ever ask for. There really are people within football that would tell you, I wouldn't want to work for the Patriots. I don't think they're a great
fair.
organization.
But I guess my
think they
point
had a
was there's
great-
32 teams, and only really 6 of them, and I'm not including them, but only 6 of them we universally sort of consider
Correct.
elite.
And every now and then, some of the others pop in because they do something. They nail a head
And
coach
New Orleans
hire.
was like that for a while,
They
right?
Because they
They
nailed
had
a
Peyton
quarterback.
and Breeze,
Correct.
right?
Like
right.
they nailed that.
Dallas is always,
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, the most incompetent organization in
I've
football.
long thought.
Well, and by the way, Detroit is getting to experience it right now because of Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell
well, in golf.
is so golf is part of it, but Dan Campbell is so unique. I'm going to do an exercise in a second. I'm going to be interested in where you are with this.
You?
Not actual exercise, because I know that's not really
Right, yeah,
60,
you?
I understand. Right.
You're going to exercise,
yeah.
as Eminem said, we're going to exercise these.
Yeah.
Demons for doing jumping jacks?
The Rams have gotten the knock on the door a few times because they nailed first of all,
The one franchise I can't get over that should be great, it should be elite, and should be a monster every single year, and they always stink.
great elite.
They should be. They have everything you need.
Why?
They have every single thing you need,
everything you need, and they always stink.
and they always stink.
Everything you need, and they always stink. I don't know.
Atlanta.
Why do you think they have everything you need?
They have an owner who's got a gazillion
Well, that part
dollars.
is true. He's got a lot of
They
money.
have a
but I don't
remarkable-
know how he is as a leader.
But they have a remarkable stadium.
Yeah.
They have a they own the town
They
in
don't.
the winter. No, they don't even have a hockey team anymore. Nobody cares about the
No, I
Hawks.
understand, but
People
that's-
care about
it's-
football,
that-
college football.
College football. It's college
Sure,
football
sure.
here, and then the Falcons
Totally get it.
here.
But they should be, and they play in the softest division in the world.
Yeah.
They should be, and all they need,
Yeah.
to give them credit, they tried.
Yeah.
All they need is a quarterback.
You say that. They weren't interested in one before that.
But all they needed,
They said, "Why would we go after Lamar Jackson?"
right? He costs money. And then they
Right.
gave all the money to Kirk Cousins, and then cut him, and gave him a free $30
Well, they
million.
haven't cut him yet.
Well, they're gonna.
They haven't done that yet.
Well, all my buddies want to know if we're going to talk about the TGL, and I said we are.
Why? Why would
Well, they all want to know.
do they?
He said, "Are you and Clark going to talk
Yeah.
about the TGL?" I said, "Right after this exercise."
Yeah, right. Well, we'll do that in a second. You can have 10 seconds. Here, I'll quickly remind everybody that today's show is brought to you by County Sports Zone. Every score, every team, every school, all over the state. You can find it. I know there were a lot
We
of
got swimming today. Coward Hall versus
ooh,
Loyola.
Big one. Big one.
Ethan's in the 500.
Oh? How is Ethan as a swimmer? How?
Um,
I know you're proud no matter
good.
what.
No. I'm very fair. I mean, people ask me all the time, how is he as a golfer? I give him a very fair assessment. He's a good swimmer. I would say this, had he really been serious about swimming as a ninth grader, and would have, because this is like everything else you do, in order for you to be successful at something in high school, there's almost no question about what I'm going to say. I don't like it, but it's a fact. You have to be involved in the club scene in
Okay.
order to be good at something in high school.
Okay.
You just do. You have to play club soccer
Right.
to make the high school team.
Mm-hmm.
You got to stay involved in the club scene.
My wife keeps talking about, well, maybe the boys could play baseball at Loyola. I'm like, you have no idea what
Oh.
you're talking about. You have no.
How
you
old are
have
your kids?
9 and 7.
Forget it.
Yes.
That
correct.
ship's already sailed.
Gone.
So you've got to be able. So swimming is very much the same way.
Mm-hmm.
In order for you to be an elite high school swimmer, in almost every case, you have to swim club, which means you got to get in the pool every single
just
day.
say this is your fault that he's not any good and get over it.
No.
Get over
So had he done the club swimming thing,
Yeah.
he would be. I think he would be a college level swimmer. Had he done club, he just didn't want to do it. And you gotta make it you are gonna see this in the not too distant future.
Mhm.
And anyone who's got an 18-year-old son or daughter knows what I'm talking about. Anyone who's got a 10, 11, 12-year-old son or daughter who's athletic, you better be prepared for this. You either have to invest in them at 10, 11, and 12.
Mhm.
At 14, 15, 16, it's over.
Yep.
And Ethan likes to swim. I always say this about golfers, Calvert Hall. If you're a kid that likes golf, you're never going to make my team. You're just not.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a golfer,
Right.
you have a chance to make my team.
Right.
But if you just like golf,
Yep.
you just got zero chance. And if you like to swim, you can still swim at the high school level, but you're going to get passed by.
Mhm.
So he could have been a really good swimmer had he invested in the club part of it. And you're going to find this out when your kids
doubt.
want to do if your
No
kids
doubt.
want to be good at lacrosse.
No, they're off lacrosse now. They're baseball and soccer. That's
Okay,
their-
got to
that's
get them
their
in the
thing.
club. It bothers me to say that, but it is what it is, man. I'm telling you, there have been very, very few kids that play soccer at
No,
Calvert Hall.
I'm actually I got no problem because Steve Johnson's going to take care of my sons.
There you go.
He's going to make them.
You're
he's
in.
going to make them aces.
You're in.
That's the way it's going to go.
That'll cost you $10,000 a year.
And by the way, I should say something about Brian Mattis. I can't. It's devastating. This is going to sound crazy. We were tough on Brian Mattis on the radio. extraordinarily tough. It dates back to
Well, he was a first-round pick.
not just a first-round pick, but
And he also came along at a time. This is, this will drudge up some bad memories. But he also came around at a time when he was coming in. I would say that was at the zenith of the despair of the club.
correct.
He came around at a time when it was
And it was worse. And
awful.
I'm not trying to blame Ken Rosenthal for this, but there was a famous tweet that Ken Rosenthal sent once where he spoke to another GM who said, "I give up anyone in my organization for Brian Mattis." Like, there was this it put the hype machine wildly out of control. So when Brian Mattis was not at all the guy that we had hoped that he would be, it made he became an easy punching bag.
Yeah, sure.
We were, and I'll acknowledge that, like, in that era, and it's not just us, certainly not, it was everybody. Everyone took their shots at Brian Mattis. I didn't know Brian well. He was one of those guys, like, when he was coming up through the organization, he would come on with us because we weren't allowed to talk to the guys that were on the team, although we still did that from time to time, and then they yelled at us.
God forbid we promote the team.
Right. And he was happy to do them. Like, he was happy to come on.
You had 11,000 people in the stadium. We want to have one of your players on, not allowed. What was the name of the pitcher who used to come on anyway?
Zach Britton did it with me all the time.
No.
Zach Britton.
There was another guy who was sort of like a journeyman. And he would come on, and he got chastised by Greg Bader or somebody. And whoever it was said, guys, I'm just going on with him.
God.
It was an older guy, right-handed starting pitcher.
Well, Miguel Gonzalez.
That's who it was.
Miguel Gonzalez did not.
That's who it was.
He didn't care.
That's exactly who it was.
Did not care.
Good get.
Miguel Gonzalez.
That's exactly who it was.
You could tell him every day. And he just didn't care. He was just a really
Well,
nice.
they told him.
Yeah,
you can't
right?
go on the air with those guys. And he's like, I'm going on with
I'm
them.
just going to do it.
That's exactly
There
who
were
it was.
other guys. Nate McLeod wanted to fight me one day. He was like, I didn't realize, like, I got in something. I'm like, Nate, why do you care? Like, what are they
going to do, bench you?
They're going to have the power to take you out of the
They're
line.
going to bench you. Sorry, Nate. Here's our Oriole lineup for tonight.
Right.
Starting in center field tonight, Gavin.
Lou Ford out there instead.
Yeah, Lou Ford. The Orioles have suspended Nate McLeod for 3 games for speaking to W. Yeah, right.
right.
Hey, come on.
I mean, he was mad at me.
Right.
He was furious that he had gone on my show that day. And then he was like, I didn't know you guys weren't allowed to. I'm like, what do you mean? What you're an adult. Do what you want to do. But Miguel Gonzalez did.
J.J. Hardy said, you guys are on the S list.
Yeah.
I said, well, welcome to the S list. You're on mine.
Right. Steve would always.
He might have been the meanest guy I was ever around. He might have been meaner than Adam Terry. There was something about J.J. Hardy that
he wouldn't stand up.
He was just mean.
Drew was really mad because he wouldn't stand up.
Yep.
We did these interviews.
You can. I'll talk to you, but you got to kneel down here.
Kneel down next.
I said, I think I'm good.
He was really mad.
Oh, you're not going to do it now? I'm like, no, I'm not kneeling down
so
next to
mad
you
about
like I'm a college girl.
So mad.
No. I mean, come on. He's a clown.
God. Anyway,
He was good at ping pong, though.
He was very good at ping pong.
He could have beat some Asian guys.
I happen to like J.J. Hardy.
Yeah, I did too when he sleeps.
Stop.
He was the meanest Oriole ever.
Anyway, Brian Mattis was always willing to come on.
Ever.
And he came on a lot. And then, he stopped coming on because we stopped asking because
we were tired of getting yelled at.
Well, that, and also there wasn't really any reason to have Brian
because
Mattis
they was winning 60 games a year, right?
So I say all this to say, randomly.
How did he die? Does anybody know yet? It's not good.
I don't know. I don't.
I mean, it must not be good, right? Yeah.
About 5 years ago, I'm on Instagram one day, and I get a message from Brian Mattis. He was like, "Hey, man, really enjoy the content you do. It's been a long time. Appreciate you always having me on."
You're like, what are you, drunk? Have you listened?
Like,
have you listened to Wednesdays?
Like, yeah. First of all, that. Yeah. Second of all,
you and that guy are still hanging around together?
Yeah, right. All I could think is like, oh my God, I said so many terrible things about Brian Mattis.
Right.
Like terrible things. but he was such a nice guy.
Right.
Like, and everyone knew that. Like, he kind of got into some trouble because he was so friendly in the like in the clubhouse. He was so friendly that it was misconstrued. Brian Mattis was an incredibly good guy, and without the context of the expectations that we had for him, his story would have been guy who carved out a role as a Major League Baseball player that was helpful and allowed him to make a living and be in the league for a while.
Well, the irony was he didn't come with the same fanfare as Zach Britton, but he and Britton had very similar career paths. Starters turned relievers. Britton happened to develop, wink, wink, this incredible pitch.
What does that mean, wink, wink? Like, what does that mean?
Well, you want to talk about it? Or?
I mean, like, if you think he was doing something, it wasn't any different than anything that anybody else was doing, dog.
Anyway, but their paths were the same until Britton's relief career took off and made him into a Hall of Very Good relief
100%.
pitcher, and Mattis flamed out.
Brian Mattis was a loogie, but he was a loogie. Like, he stayed in
he
the
was
league
okay, right.
for a while as a loogie because he could get David Ortiz out. Like, that, more or less, he could do that. And it's a shame that the other context is the way that we thought about Brian Mattis instead of guy that was able to make a living for himself and a career doing something that proved to be helpful for a baseball team. Devastating. Unbelievably devastating. Just awful news. But I'm telling you, truly good guy who would check in on social media with me like regularly over the last few years. Was very involved with a couple of different local charities. He was very involved with Casey Cares. Was very involved with some area charities. Safe home to Brian Mattis, and just awful news that he passes away at 37. Why don't we grab a break, because it's never easy to just go from one topic to another like that. So we'll grab a break. When we come back in, I'll let you spend 3 minutes discussing the video game golf, and then
Did you watch it?
I spent about 3 minutes watching the video game.
Oh, okay. So that'll be
just to look at it.
I'll be interested to hear
if
what
there was something that I was
okay.
And then I have an exercise I'm gonna do with
I won 200
today. Yeah, you were all over the Bay. You've always said you're a Bay man. When we come back in, I also today at PressBoxOnline.com, I'm ranking all 14 coaches, quarterbacks, and teams in order of likelihood of winning the Super Bowl. And I'm going to get your thoughts on how you would rank the 14 coaches, quarterbacks that are left in the playoffs.
Who the best 14 are.
Yeah. How you would rank those 14 coaches and quarterbacks. That's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So Drew's here. It is a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas' 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and it's our very special Best of 2024 issue. On the cover, we celebrate our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, Lamar Jackson, as Bo Smolka profiles what the quarterback means to the community beyond the football field. Also inside, we celebrate the top people, performances, and moments of the year in local sports. Press Box is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always read the entire issue and find the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps at PressBoxOnline.com.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCRs, continue along on a Wednesday edition of the program, winding down hour number one. Don't forget Brenda Frese is going to join us this morning. Maryland USC tonight, huge game in College Park. I realize I never finished telling everybody that countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com because we started talking about swimming and youth sports, but countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. All right, I did watch, I'd say, about 3 minutes of the video game golf last night, and acknowledging I'm not a golf person, so it didn't do a thing for me.
Okay.
I think it's twofold. I don't care for watching, like, I'm not a golf person, and I've never been at all interested in watching people play video games. So maybe if you're into one of those things or the other, it might be for you, but it made golf more confusing to me. Like, that's also part of the problem when I was like, who's taking the shot now? What's the hammer? I think if you're into golf to begin with, maybe that other stuff might be cool because it's related to golf, but for somebody who wasn't into golf, it just made a sport that I'm not into more confusing, and then I'm out immediately. If I'm not into something to begin with, making it more confusing ain't going to make me more interested in it. So you tell me, as a golf person, I know you weren't excited about it, but did you enjoy it?
So here, I wrote about this today, and I said this. All my friends are texting me, what do you think? What do you think? By the way, I've missed a quarterback somewhere.
You have only 13 in?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Baker Mayfield on your list.
Got
C.J.
him.
Stroud
Got
on
him.
your list.
Bo Nix.
Got him. Wilson.
Jackson. That's the
Got him.
You
He's
sure?
7. Got him. Pittsburgh.
golf. Stafford.
Josh Allen.
Got him.
Mahomes.
Got him. Who? Got him.
Darnold.
Got well, I got him. I don't have a 13.
Hurts.
Jane Daniels.
Got him.
Daniels. Yeah.
Something's
Well, it's
weird.
not. It's Kenny Pickett, not Josh Allen Hurts.
Well, I mean, it's
Something's weird. How do I only have
Who have we not named?
who? Yeah, this is bizarre.
is it
Love.
is it
Jordan Love.
Mahomes?
Oh,
Did
that's
you-
who it is.
It's Jordan Love?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's who it is. Okay.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right. So, and I got to change this, but I will.
Dan Campbell. Oh.
So it wasn't horrible, and that's about as someone said on my website. That's a very tepid endorsement. It wasn't horrible, and I went into it. I'm the same way as you. Not a video game guy at all.
Yeah, don't care about golf, obviously.
No, not really a simulator. Look, everybody's doing it. Lots of people are playing in these indoor.
Mm-hmm.
You can go over here to Golf Galaxy. They got 5 of them. Mm-hmm. It's just not my thing. And I don't know if it's because I'm 61 or because it's just not my thing. I don't like it. But I thought this was interesting. They, clearly it's made for TV, right? It's 2 hours, soup to nuts, done, get it over with. And honestly, there was a lot of fluff in there. The golf, much like real golf, was probably an hour of the 2, and the rest of it was, some commercials, obviously, and then some other
interviews. And,
yeah. I didn't think it was horrible. I really didn't. I went into it thinking it would be, and thinking I wouldn't be that interested, And
it's totally fine. I don't know. Again,
I'll watch it again. Will I make it appointment viewing? I will not. But if it's on, and obviously it's a Monday night or a Tuesday night, it's going to be Mondays now when football's over, I'll get back to it and I'll watch it. I'm interested to see what Tiger does. Here's what I would say about it, having watched one night of it. He is playing.
Okay.
Here's what I would say about it after having watched it. I actually think it would be cool to attend. That's the one interesting thing about it.
So they changed the green for every hole.
Correct.
And
so they built a huge green with the ability to move the surface to replicate different undulations.
Right.
So to me, that was kind of the wonky part of it. But in simulator golf, putting is the one thing that doesn't work.
Right.
You can hit a ball into a screen, see where it goes, blah, 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 but putting never has worked.
Mm-hmm.
So they figured out a way to make it work, which is they built this elaborate $10 million putting green, and these guys can chip and putt to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's imagine, I said this to my buddy Chris Beloga today at Loyola, imagine they do this event in the gym at Loyola University. That's what it was.
Yeah, more or less. Right. It's
was
not a huge arena. It's just
holds 3,500 or 4,000 people,
Right.
right? Same as Towson. Towson holds 4,300. Imagine that it's done in there. It's kind of a cool atmosphere, I think. You're seeing the golfers in a gym.
Right. Right.
You don't have to walk around. You sit in a seat.
Look, if you're into golf, I could see why you would be into it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's going to. And by the way, I don't think it has to be. If somebody brings it up, is it really going to capture new people? I don't know that it really is going to be whether or not.
Look, you want to know the dirty little secret of why they're doing it? There's only one reason why they're doing it. There's only one reason. These are the guys that didn't go to live.
Right. And so you're trying to do
and
something.
they've created a way to get them more money like they need it.
Right.
And they took away that player impact program. So the tour is clearly helping in a very discreet way. The tour is helping with this by promoting it. Obviously, anything that's linked to Tiger is
going to have a little more juice.
Of course.
Yep.
Don't use juice and Tiger in the same sense. And this is...
I'm sorry. It's going to have a little more deer antlers.
There you go. This is definitely... The priority of this was to figure out a way to pay players more money.
Sure. Well, and if golf people are willing to...
And they went right away to SoFi and said, give us $50 million.
And if it's just for golf people, that's fine.
Right. It's not. I agree with you.
Like
it's not. No one's getting... No one who doesn't like golf is going to watch this and go,
oh,
hey, I think I'll go play golf.
Yeah, right. I'm a golf person now.
They're not.
I think it's for golf people, but that's okay.
Right.
It's okay that it's for golf
It's
people.
silly season-ish in that the real golf season, no matter what people say about January, February, the real golf season starts when they come back east.
Right.
And they play the Players and Bay Hill, and it ramps up to the Masters. Nobody cares. No one's going to give a rat's rear end, except for me if Austin Eckroat wins. Who wins this weekend in Hawaii?
Right.
No one cares.
Right.
Who wins at Pebble Beach? But when it comes, and so they're going to take these next 2.5, 3 months to do this at a time when most of us are just following football.
Sure.
Or the Wizards.
Yeah, right, obviously. Yes, of course.
They were up at like 15 last night.
How'd it turn out?
And then they lost by
Houston.
15.
How'd that turn?
Right. So anyway.
By the way, the Cavaliers ever going to lose again?
Oh, my God, it's insane.
It's
They got
unbelievable.
5 losses.
It's
But
crazy.
Oklahoma City's not that far behind them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So I'm summarizing it like this. It wasn't horrible. It probably was like the opera. It was better than I thought it would be. And I don't know. I'll watch it again. I'll watch it again. But other than that jersey I bought today for Jupiter, I'm not spending any money on it.
Do you know who's on the teams?
Loosely.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have a commonality.
I am so convinced you're never going to be able to make this team thing work.
I think it's a lot like the lacrosse thing. I think that was a dumb idea from Jump Street, and you got to have a city attached.
Right.
But what's Hideki Matsuyama's connection to Boston?
Right. And you're never going to be able to make that
Now, McElroy and Bradley, I think we could figure that out.
Right.
We know why McElroy's in it.
Fair.
But Adam Scott is with the team in Boston.
Sure. Why not? Why not? Yeah,
So,
why
anyway.
not? No, I just don't think that will.
Yeah, the team, the cities have nothing to do with
and
it.
I would almost say, don't do it. Why do the team thing?
Well, you want to know what I think down the road is going to happen?
What?
This is what I think is going to happen. I think, and when I say down the road, it is going to be 5 years away if the thing still survives. Here's their niche. Their niche is me, you, Griffin, and our other buddy go to some destination in Baltimore that's outfitted for the weekend with this simulator thing, and you, me, Griffin, and our buddy eventually get to play against the team from Boston.
Stop.
Because we can do it.
Stop.
No, that's their niche.
That's bad.
But that's their niche. You and me get to play against Rory. When do you?
But why would Rory have any interest in that?
Because he's getting $50 million.
All right, fair. But I'm not going to watch you play against him.
No. Yeah. You wouldn't be watching it.
Okay.
We would be. It would just be our. It would be our.
Would they be able to like save Rory shots? And then you're like playing against him.
People do it right
virtually
now.
almost?
You could play with your buddy in Florida right now. It's just software.
What I'm saying is, I just don't.
I mean, we're flying drones around.
I don't think that this ever works. I don't think it's ever
But
going to
what
work.
works to you?
That you'll ever find people genuinely interested in the team.
But what in who is the team? I
Whatever
don't
the
disagree.
team is.
I don't disagree with that.
Whether it's live, whether it's this, I don't think golf works. The only time that you can ever get people to be interested in individual team aspects of individual sports is the Ryder Cup, is
It's got to be 2
international
people.
competition.
Well, it's got to be 2 people.
What do you mean it's got to be 2 people?
Meaning the only way the matches have any sort of oomph to them is when it's me and you against him and him.
Sure. Yeah,
I would
I'll
agree
watch,
with that.
For the same way, I'll watch doubles tennis. I'll watch
Right.
But like when they did the team tennis thing,
It was
I
terrible.
didn't give a rat's ass.
Right.
I cared if Serena
But
Williams
that
was playing.
survived.
Sort of survived. Sort of.
But it's still around.
It's not really.
No?
No. It's nothing.
They're not playing down in D.C. anymore?
No. First of all, they had to move out of they moved out of every arena they were ever in. The last place they played was on a rooftop. This is a straight shoot.
Nice.
They built a tennis court on like the
By the way,
rooftop of the wharf.
You could have something there.
Yeah, for 100 people.
But anyway, so summary is I thought it was better than I thought. Okay? I'm just going to say
There
that.
you go. All right.
It was better than I thought.
right.
And go Jupiter.
That's your guy. Those are your guys. Those are your guys.
Yeah, Tiger, Max Homa.
The
Tom-
crazy part, by the way, that World Team Tennis, they actually played in the cities, and you still couldn't get people
Right.
to care about it. You still couldn't. I would go
Well, it's like lacrosse.
if Serena Williams was
Stephen
playing.
Kelly would fly down to Atlanta and play for the Atlanta team,
Right,
and then fly back home.
Yeah, but that part, if you can get the team to exist within the, like, if you could get, I'm telling, this can work. The Maryland Whipsnakes can be a thing if they have offices here. If they
Well, sure.
show up at the
Well,
parades.
we always said that. I didn't think that carnival thing was the way to go.
Right.
But I understand. You know, Rabel got $1 million, and he had to do something with it. I get it.
They're doing fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
But
sure.
You will get people to care about the Whipsnakes if they exist, if they live and breathe here.
If they go to the supermarket, and if
Correct.
they do clinics,
If you see
it's like
them
indoor
at the
soccer.
Catonsville 4th of July parade,
Right.
if you can get
That's why
people
we
to-
did what we did in indoor soccer.
and there are still people, I know it's a much smaller number, but there are still people who care about the Baltimore Blast. That it does still
Yeah,
resonate.
the
I know
attendance-
it's a
the
very,
attendance-
I understand.
The attendance ain't showing
It's a
that.
much smaller number. I agree with that. All right, let's do this exercise. So today at PressBoxOnline.com, I am going to be power ranking the quarterbacks, the head coaches, and then the teams. Oh, it's already up at PressBoxOnline.com right now. And then the teams in order to me of their likelihood of winning the Super Bowl.
All
Those
right.
are the 3 lists that I have. So why don't we start with coaches? Do you have your
No,
coach
let's do
list?
quarterbacks.
Let's start with quarterbacks. That's what I was hoping that we would start.
Let's do
with.
quarterbacks first.
Let's start with the quarterbacks. Maybe we'll take a break and then we'll do coaches. Maybe we'll do that. 14 quarterbacks ranked from 14 to 1.
I ranked them a little bit based on.
I rank them as of right now.
Okay,
As
so
of right
so
now.
in other words,
So like Russell
I'm gonna
Wilson
use
is
May
not reflected as the best part of Russell Wilson's career.
Correct.
It's Russell Wilson today.
right? Okay, gotcha.
Correct.
Okay,
All right. So your number 14 is?
Sam Darnold.
I have Sam Darnold at 13 and C.J. Stroud at 14.
Oh, Oh,
C.J.
wow.
Stroud has been
Oh, wow.
ungodly.
Yeah, he's been
It's
terrible.
been
But I have him
awful.
way higher.
Now, I have very little faith in Sam Darnold, and certainly the last thing what Sam Darnold looked like Sam Darnold
Not
on
way
Sunday
higher,
night. But C.J. Stroud's been so bad this season and just looks lost that I have the least faith of any quarterback in the league right now in C.J.
Okay.
Stroud.
Well, he's not working with
Not
much.
in the
But
league,
anyway, go ahead.
maybe. So, yeah, I've got
Who
Stroud.
coaches Houston?
It's D'Amico Ryans.
Gotcha. Thanks. I got him at 2.
Yeah. So I got Stroud 14, Darnold 13. Who's your 13?
Russell Wilson.
Russell
And
Wilson.
the only reason he's 13 is I didn't want to put him at 14.
I understand. I have him a little bit higher, but not much. Not
Russell
much.
Wilson stinks.
I'll give you my next two. My next two are Bo Nix 12 and Russell Wilson 11.
Okay, so I had Stroud 12 and Nix at 11.
Okay.
Another hot
And
take.
So for what it's worth, we have the same bottom four, just in a different order.
Another hot take is I think there's something to that Bo Nix kid.
Oh, I absolutely think there's something there.
I think there's,
But not enough yet for me to elevate him over.
no. But I'm just saying. I think
Yes.
they've
I
got.
think both Nix and Drake May in New England look like
I think they've got something.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's a tepid. It's sort of like saying
Right. It's not hard.
the way that you feel about
Right.
the TGL. I'm not sure he's a star, and in the AFC in particular, because of what's at the top of the league, it's really hard. Just being good enough, Jared Goff and Sam Darnold couldn't win in the AFC. They wouldn't be game changers in the AFC. All right, so my 10, I'll go 10-9, 10 Baker Mayfield, 9 Jalen Hurts.
Okay, so I'm the opposite.
Okay.
Actually, I have Love at 10.
Ooh.
I have Love at 10 and I have Hurts at 10 and Love at 9.
Okay, I have Love at 8 for what it's worth.
Okay. And then I have Mayfield at 8.
Okay, so this is interesting. We're fairly similar. There's not a whole lot of discrepancy there. Jalen Hurts athletically, it makes that whole thing work. That like they need Jalen Hurts for that whole thing to work, but his uncanny ability to throw the ball into the ground and just utterly miss wide receivers, I can't shake. I don't think he's special. I think he's really athletic, and it can work, and it might work enough for them to be able to win a Super Bowl, but I just don't think he's special. I've got Goff at 7.
I have Jaden Daniels at 7.
Okay. I am bullish about Jaden Daniels. I will
Okay.
acknowledge that. I'm bullish about him. I have him a few spots higher.
Okay.
I have Goff 7, Herbert 6.
Okay, I have Stafford at 6.
I have Stafford at 5,
I have Goff at 5.
and I have Daniels at 4.
Okay.
That's where I'd have Daniels as well.
Really?
Yeah.
And then
I
I
like him a lot too.
and then I have Herbert at 4.
I'm so bullish about Jaden Daniels.
Okay,
Like
I
it's
have
crazy. how
Herbert at
much-
4. But Herbert's the best looking of all of them.
That's a good. Well, I gotta think about that
Okay.
for a second.
I
gotta
got
think-
Herbert at 4.
Oh, so, but Flacco's not on the list, so maybe.
Herbert at 4.
And then.
Obviously, we know.
And well, what I guess there was only a question what order you have it in.
I have Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes.
That's the,
Allen 3, Lamar 2, Mahomes
it's the same order that I have them in
Okay.
as well. Allen 3, Lamar 2, Patrick Mahomes 1
1. Okay.
for the quarterbacks. And then as I said,
Nothing to argue about there.
we're pretty close on that. The only difference being I'm more bullish about Jaden Daniels than
Okay.
you are, and I get that. Like I even acknowledge.
I think they might beat Tampa Bay Sunday.
I'd almost be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah, I got a funny feeling they're going to beat them.
I still think that they need more. Like I don't think they have enough around him to
I'm struggling with the coaches, by the way.
really break through. I didn't struggle a lot with.
I'm
the
going to
coaches.
the other one.
Okay, you're going to the teams next. Okay, you can go to the teams next. I don't think that they're good enough to really make a. Like I don't think they can win the NFC. But he's special, man. Like that dude, that kid can play. I don't think he's Lamar, but I think he's something close.
He's awfully good.
He's really good,
No
man.
question.
He's really, really good.
I mean, actually, he came into the league with far more quarterbacking DNA than Lamar. Because Lamar came into the league as a running back.
Yeah, I don't. That says to me that you didn't watch a lot of Lamar at Louisville.
Yeah, I did. He ran around a lot.
He did run around a lot. He also made throws.
Well, he might have. Daniels came into the league with more quarterbacking DNA than Lamar.
I gotta think about that. It's funny because what I would say is what I've seen of Daniels in his first year is obviously more complete than what we saw of Lamar in his first year, but the circumstances were dramatic.
Well, he's also playing in
right.
a watered down conference.
There's something close to what you're saying. I would agree with. I just don't think I would agree with the way you're saying it. I think that, and also keep in mind, Jaden Daniels is a couple years older than Lamar when Lamar was a rookie in the NFL too. How old is Daniels now? He's 20.
Jaden Daniels
is he 23 or 24?
He
is
a little old.
24. Yeah, he's 24 years old. And Lamar came into the league
at 22, 21.
I thought he was 21 when he came into the league. Yeah, he's
he just turned 28.
He just turned 28. So when he was a rookie, he was 21 years old. So it's part of it. We talk about like how guys might be more advanced. Like, yeah, they're also a couple years older. Jaden Daniels is only really, I guess, 4 years younger because Lamar just had a birthday. But whatever you want to call it, he's not that far off from Lamar Jackson age-wise. Why don't we grab a break? When we come back in, we'll do teams, and then we'll do coaches. Coaches, ranking the 14 coaches, and teams' likelihood of them winning the Super Bowl.
I'm going to do the teams first.
All right. You want to do the teams now?
Yeah.
Okay, then we won't take a break. You're ready. Teams.
I just got a weird feeling about Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah? Where are they on your list?
Last.
Yeah, there you go.
Number 14.
I do not have Pittsburgh at 14.
Okay.
They're 14 on my list for what it's.
There's no way that
and here's why I would
they
say
have the hardest path.
Correct. That's exactly why.
All well and good. The Houston Texans are the worst team in the playoffs by far.
No.
It's not.
Nope.
Steelers
not
are close.
Not with those
I don't even have
helmets.
the Steelers at 13.
Not with those helmets.
And part of the reason why I can't have the Steelers that low is because I have Mike Tomlin so high on the coaches list. The Texans are 14.
You love
period.
the Steelers.
The Texans are the worst team in the playoffs.
Okay.
They're
Well,
awful.
you're wrong.
They are so.
I have Houston at 13.
Yeah. I have Denver at 13.
Oh.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
elements about Denver, but their whole roster is not
Okay.
very good. And we've seen that kind of when they've played good teams this year. Like
Well, they were a missed field goal away from beating Kansas City in Kansas City.
They were. That happened. How'd they do in Baltimore?
Well, they got run out of the gym.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, look, the Browns were more competitive.
I have Tampa Bay at 12.
I have Tampa at 12 as well.
Okay. I probably am off here now that I go through this, but maybe I just have put a weird amount of stock in the Rams, but I have the Rams at 11.
Oh.
I feel like I should have them higher.
Oh, yeah. We're dramatically different on the Rams.
I just don't know what they do well. Obviously, they can score.
They haven't used Cooper Kupp.
Their defense is terrible.
Yeah, that's not really relevant to me and whether they can win. It's so funny you say that.
terrible.
It's been the exact opposite of late. Like, the opposite has been their offense has not been all that impressive, and their defense is what's gotten the job done. And Jared Verse and Braden Fisk look like.
I got the Rams at 11.
I have the Steelers at 11.
Okay. Denver at 10.
I have the Commanders at 10.
I have the Redskins at 9. They're going back to Redskins.
This is a bit you're doing.
They're going back.
They're not. They are going back to D.C., though.
But they're going back to
That is
Redskins.
happening. They're going to go back to our.
I have them at 9.
I have the Chargers at 9.
Okay. Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
You're a bit more bullish on the Chargers, is what I'm learning. You have Justin Herbert.
I am,
You're
and
a bit
I'll tell
more
you why
bullish
in a
about
minute.
the Chargers.
I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
I have Minnesota at 8.
I have Minnesota at 8.
I have Green Bay at 7.
I have Green Bay at 7.
I don't. Is Love okay from last week? Was that precautionary?
Yeah, he's fine, but Christian Watson's
I know that.
done.
But
Yeah.
I don't know the matchups now because Green Bay. Well, no, I guess Green Bay would play Detroit. I got a funny feeling if Green Bay could somehow win in Philly, they have a real puncher's chance of beating the Lions.
Yeah, I don't know that I believe they have a chance to win in Philly, though.
Maybe
That's
not,
part of the
but
problem.
Anyway, I got Philly at 6.
This is the funny thing. I really like Green Bay. I like the totality of
I
what
do
they've
too.
done there.
I think they're on the rise.
But I think it's a brutally difficult path for them.
Okay, 6 as Philly.
6 is where I have the Rams. You have Philly at 6.
I do.
That's the first shocking thing that I've.
Well, they're the number 2 seed.
I understand.
All they need is
that.
Detroit to stub their toe, and they've got the championship game in their building.
It's the opposite. You have them dramatically lower on your list than I have. They still haven't lost a game this season.
Oh, I see
where
what you mean.
Jalen Hurts and A.J.
Okay.
Brown are on the field together.
Yeah, what would they do against the Ravens?
They won in Baltimore.
Oh, they did.
People don't really do that.
Number 5, I have Buffalo.
I mean, I guess the Raiders did.
Number 5, I have Buffalo.
Wow. Anyway, I've got the Lions at 5, and I've got the Rams at 6, the Lions at 5. I've got Buffalo at 4.
Okay, I have Detroit at 4.
Okay.
I do think, I hate to, man, you just don't like doing this because you know they're going to do something to disappoint you. But I do think this is their year, right?
The Lions?
Home ice. Yeah.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
They're going to lose at home?
I absolutely think
Oh,
they're losing.
man. I have the Chargers at 3.
Wow. You are so bullish about
I think their defense
this is nuts.
I think their defense
I had the
is
Chargers at 6. And then
well,
that's
that's crazy
We
to
don't,
me,
we
too,
don't care
but-
what you think. We have I have the Chargers at 3.
I'll let you share a thought about the complete list after.
Let me I think their defense is very good. Obviously, as evidenced by the stats, it's not something I created. Their defense is very good. I am, against my better judgment, putting stock in Jim Harbaugh, and I don't know why, but I am. He for whatever reason, and somebody needs to do a way deeper dive than me just sitting here saying it. Everywhere he's gone, he's won.
Yeah, he's won,
He has,
but not.
but he's won. He's turned moribund.
But I think that's what this season was. Like, I think that they got about
Okay,
as
but that's-
much as they can get
Maybe,
out of this.
but that's why I'm trying to do this by the matchup. They should have a cakewalk in Houston.
yes, I
If
agree
they
with
don't
that.
beat Houston,
Yep.
they're in big trouble.
This speaks to your belief that they can go to Kansas City and win.
Correct.
I don't share that belief.
Okay.
I don't believe they can go to Kansas City and win.
I don't know what they lost
I think they
in
can-
Kansas City by,
I mean, I assume it was close.
but
most of the
it was
Chiefs games
very
were.
close in L.A. I think L.A. beat them. I think Kansas City beat them 20-10, if my memory's right, early in the season. Might have been 20-7.
In Kansas City beat them 19-17, and then
In-
early in the
in
season.
Oh,
LA,
that
it
was a joke.
In LA, it was 17-10.
17-10. That game was a joke. The Chargers should have won that game 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
That game was a joke in Kansas City.
They didn't.
I know they didn't because the Chiefs and the refs figured out a way down the stretch. That was a joke.
Teamwork. You
Anyway,
keep trying to dismiss the importance of teamwork.
I have a bad feeling the Chargers could be a really tough out,
All right.
no matter where they play. If you know what I mean. I hate to say that.
I don't. I think the Chargers.
I'm very
have-
nervous about the Chargers.
I think the Chargers have some good elements. I really do.
I think the Ravens-
I don't think they have enough firepower. I just don't think their skill position. Like, Ladd McConkey's been a great story this year, but that's what they have.
Have you seen their uniforms?
I have.
Yeah.
I like their uniforms. That's what
Baltimore
they got.
2, Kansas City 1.
There we go. Baltimore 2, Kansas City 1. But
Well,
for what it's worth,
and look, I'm still going to say this. I've been telling people this for a month. People think I'm nuts. I really think if the Ravens can get to Kansas City, they're going to beat them.
I have a strange feeling about that too, but I
But they
still
gotta
have
get
to.
there.
I still have to show, and I still have to show the reverence to Kansas City. I'm Baltimore 3, Philadelphia 2, Kansas City 1. I believe Philadelphia.
Are the
is
Bills wearing which helmets are they wearing? Because you can wear the old ones one time in the playoffs. Any chance they wear their old grazing buffalo against us to piss us off?
Well, you would
Probably
think they'd want to wear it
wise,
at
yeah.
home. You would think that.
Then we're in trouble.
Oh, boy.
If they wear the grazing buffalo helmet, we're dead. We got to make sure they don't wear the grazing buffalo helmet.
All right. What anything else that would be interesting from your list?
No,
Griffin?
I mean, I have the
Dramatically
Chiefs
different?
1, Lions 2, Philly 3, Ravens 4.
I just still think the
You guys are
Lions
nuts.
defensively, and like you put it
When
into a
you
situation.
get one seeds that are both this good, like it's hard to derail them both. I
If
feel.
Aiden
And-
Hutchinson was healthy and Alim McNeil was healthy, I would feel that way about the Lions. With them not being healthy going up against Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts and the tush push and A.J. Brown, like if the Eagles stay healthy, I genuinely believe
In all
they
fairness, you'd push Jalen Hurts' tush too.
I would. I mean, I would. Does he need? You know something?
By the way, how about that egg, that colossal egg that the Vikings laid the other night? Oh my
the only part that was stunning. I mean, I
Was
did,
it they gave up in the fourth quarter?
well at that point.
Oh, my God.
it was going to make a difference. Their offensive line had been much better than that during the course of the year. I was really surprised by how their offensive line held up. But yeah, you want to make the argument for the Lions? The Lions' argument is their offensive line is so good.
Here's my
so
exercise for
nuts
you, my
good.
question for you.
Yeah.
What's the most disappointing thing that happened in the 2024 season in the league?
Taking away obviously any from a broad perspective, not related to any rooting interest.
Yeah. What's the most disappointing thing that happened?
The most disappointing thing. It's hard for me to not have the Texans high on that list.
Okay, just
Like, I genuinely thought that they were moving into
they'd have been fine if Diggs wouldn't have got hurt.
maybe
That changed their season.
maybe, but
It changed their whole season.
there's something else there, man.
I don't think so.
It's a mess. It looks. It's hard to.
They were really
watch
good
CJ
until he
Stroud.
got hurt.
C.J. Stroud has regressed dramatically regressed. That's high on my list of disappointments. I think you would say that the disappointment is the reason why people are so up in arms. There has been so much debasing nonsense from otherwise intelligent people about the Chiefs laying down this weekend. Like
The dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So embarrassing.
Every coach in the league would have done the same thing.
It would be dereliction of duty for you to do anything other than that.
Now, did they? Now, I will say this: did they gift Denver a playoff spot by doing that? Yeah, probably.
Yes,
But
why do they care?
But the Bengals should have just beat the Patriots.
The Bengals thing that you're talking about, Joe Burrow miss a healthy full season of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson.
And you won 9 games.
That's insane.
Right. Well,
That's insane.
You lost at home to the Patriots and the Chargers, I think.
But you also didn't beat the good teams.
Right.
Like the Bengals should have been good enough to beat the
Yeah,
good teams.
well, they
I know at the end of the year they ended up.
Well,
beating,
they would have, should have, could have beat the Ravens.
They could have,
right.
but they
didn't. Right.
Like
right.
they
right.
had 2 shots to do it.
The
They
most
didn't-
disappointing thing in the league, for a variety of reasons, I don't know that we need more entertainment, but the Jets flatlining like they did, and Aaron Rodgers, that to me,
I
was-
know what you're saying.
right.
But the Jets are such. I never thought it was going to be anything different than that.
But wouldn't you still like to have him around to lose 37-20 this weekend?
I know what you're saying. I do.
for
But
his
not
comeuppance?
not this version of him.
Do you like him?
I would say I'm inclined to not, but I'm not. I don't hate him.
But
you know what I
did
mean?
you like him 5 years ago?
I like watching him play football.
He's done an incredible heel
yes,
turn.
That part. But I
think 5 years ago he was.
Yeah, he was America's sweetheart. He
Well,
was
he didn't
going to
talk
host
to anyone.
Jeopardy.
Yeah,
yes,
he
like
didn't talk to anyone, so it
but
worked.
That's what
so.
it was. We liked watching him play football. That was always the late.
Yeah, but
whenever
hasn't
Fox
he-
had the 4:25 game, they just put the Packers
Right.
game in, and we all watched.
But hasn't he
yes,
done
for
this
most
to
people-
himself
for
with
most people, he's done
all
it
the
to
craziness?
100%. For the majority of people, now there are certain people who love Aaron Rodgers more, right, because of who he is. But it's a smaller percentage of people that love him more for that. My opinion is always going to be based on: do I enjoy watching you play football?
I mean, he's one step away from Woody Harrelson. He
I-
might even be worse.
I think Woody Harrelson's dramatically more popular than Aaron Rodgers.
No, I meant in terms
Like,
of insanity.
Well, yeah, but I think people enjoy Woody Harrelson's
The ayahuasca
insanity.
working and all
Like,
that.
Woody Harrelson's not trying to tell you that you're wrong. The difference is the pompous.
Right.
He's a pompous ass.
Right.
Like he genuinely believes he's smarter than everybody else.
But that would have been good to have in the league
know.
this year.
Um,
Would have been good for the Jets to go 11-6 and make the playoffs.
I hear you, but I just never believe it's the Jets.
I know.
I never
I know.
believed for a second. This goes back to what we started to talk about at the beginning.
Do you
the
think
Jets are always going to be this?
Do you think the league needs? I wrote about this the other day that neither the Patriots nor the Bills wanted to win that game. Neither team wanted to win.
Yeah.
The Patriots definitely didn't want to win, and the Bills kept saying to them, "No,
Right.
you take it."
Well, but the Bills just weren't good. I don't know if the Bills were opposed to winning the game. They just weren't. The team
You-
they
you
put
don't
out there
think-
wasn't good enough to win.
you don't think there was a piece of them that didn't want New England to get the first pick?
I don't believe it.
Really?
You want to say that somebody within the organization thought about it? Absolutely. You want to tell me that
Sean McDermott.
Ray
Josh Allen.
Davis is on the field thinking about that? Not a chance.
No,
in
but you
hell.
don't think that someone might have said to Sean McDermott, "Hey, Sean, we need to figure out a way here. If push comes to shove."
I think that's it's far different when you're talking about a team getting the number 1 pick. I genuinely believe there's a possibility, right? Like I genuinely believe that
Anyway.
if you tell the coach, "Hey, you're around next year, we're asking you to make decisions to try to get the number 1 pick on Sunday." I think that's possible. To try to get a coach to buy in on, we don't want that team to get the number 1 pick. That's a
It's in their
stretch.
division, is my point.
I know your point.
Okay.
I'm saying to get Sean McDermott to care about that, to make decisions about a football game
Okay.
based around, you want me to do this based on what they might do? Nah.
Okay.
I'm
Does the league need to do anything about this or no?
I mean, look, I've heard a lot of people argue for the
lottery.
Over the years. I have no beef with the idea of a lottery.
But then you have the
teams clearly aren't like tanking that.
Yeah, here's what I would
the Giants
say.
won a game
I mean, this is
there's a
all
limit to how much you can
internet
tank
fodder,
in.
right?
Right.
People complaining about what happened with the Chiefs in Denver. People complaining about Buffalo. Here's the thing. Carolina didn't care.
Right. Lots of teams.
Chicago didn't care.
Nobody's mad that the 49ers played Josh Dobbs instead of Brock Purdy this weekend. Nobody's mad about that. There's
Right.
no Don Van Natta's not doing tweets about how dare the 49ers.
Yeah, that was a really weird take.
It's insane.
That the Chiefs have to try to win that game for
or
what
that
reason?
you convinced yourself that they singularly did it because they were trying to keep the Bengals out of the playoffs. They were going to do that no matter if it got the Bengals into the playoffs. They're going to rest their players because what happened to Zay Flowers on Saturday?
Here's what's interesting, by the way. Had Denver made that field goal against the Chiefs earlier in the year, it got blocked, and all the results panned out from there, Denver would have rested all their players on Sunday.
Correct.
And the Chiefs would have played them all.
Because they would have still had the
Because Denver would have been
right. They wouldn't have anything to
Correct.
gain, but the Chiefs would still needed one more win to lock up.
and
the number
Buffalo
one
would have
seed.
played all of their players.
Correct.
At least for some period of time. Now, the argument might also be the league would have reorganized the schedule like they did with the Ravens.
Right. In order to have games. I 100%.
But anyway.
Right. But the point being, you can watch what happened with Zay Flowers, and try to convince
When that first happened, by the way, I thought he was done.
It's done 100%. But they're still almost certainly going to be without him for at
Yeah,
least one playoff
he's not
game.
playing this
And
weekend.
now tell me any argument for Kansas City playing their players in that game.
Zero.
None.
Right.
Zero.
Right.
None.
Right. It was a preseason game.
And if you did, and I was in Kansas City,
I'd go
I would
crazy.
lose my mind
No doubt.
over that decision.
No question.
Would lose
I
it.
was a little surprised as the game went on. And John, obviously, I am a ardent John supporter. I've always thought one of John's flaws, every coach has one, every coach. One of John's flaws is he doesn't read the room well as it relates to the game, the score, and the chance, if you will, of a guy getting hurt. I was a little surprised the other night, given that there was no possible way Cleveland was going to score any points, that he kept Hamilton in there when he was clearly banged up.
At what point in the game?
Well, he
are
went
you
down
talking
twice,
about? Right.
with both times nursing something in his left arm.
Right.
I just don't know why. The second time, I didn't think it was good. The first time, it looked like a stinger, and he came back. I just don't know why you would play those guys.
I just got to think about what the score of the game.
It was 21-7.
That's
or 21-3.
It was 21 to 10.
It was 21
the
to
problem
3.
is it got to 21 to 10 in the fourth quarter, and I know.
I know. They'd still be playing.
I get it.
Cleveland
I know
wouldn't.
everything that you're saying.
Right.
I really do. But as a head coach, you can't do that. You can't sit back and say, "Well, there's just no chance. It's 21 to 10. We just got to get him out of there." Like you can't do that.
All right.
Like that touchdown they gave up in the fourth quarter was killer because it did force. And I did watch Hard Knocks last night and see the play before Derrick Henry scores the touchdown. John Harbaugh saying, "We got to get him out of the game," and then he scores a touchdown on the next play, and he's like, "Oh, all right, worked out, worked out. Now we can get him out of the game." But you can't in a 2-score game. You can't just sit back and say, "Well, this game's over."
It's Cleveland.
I know you and I can do that. The coach of the team can't. Does
All
not have that option of declaring the game to be over. All right, you want to do? Let's do Would You Rather Wednesday real quick. You're not going to rank the coaches. You've
Reed.
You've taken a pass. What's that?
Reed.
Yeah, that's definitely number one. There's no question about that.
I don't really know.
By the way, I'll do it in that order. My Reed 1, Tomlin 2, Dan Campbell 3, John 4, McVay 5, Peyton 6, Jim 7, McDermott 8, Quinn 9, O'Connell 10, LaFleur 11, Sirianni 12, Bowles 13, Ryan's 14.
I have O'Connell way higher.
Everybody's bullish about Kevin O'Connell right now. I think he's a
do.
good
he
offensive
looks just like
mind.
Bud Grant. It's unbelievable.
There is something to that. You're not wrong about
It's
it.
bizarre.
There is definitely something to it.
It would be like the current president looking
he
like
had-
George Washington instead of Bozo the Clown.
He's not – I can't put him ahead of these other guys.
I got Sirianni in top 3 as well because he's done it.
I honestly think
he's done what?
McVay is
Gone to the Super Bowl.
Gone to one, yeah.
I think McVay is number 2, personally.
That's interesting. I like McVay a lot. I really
Anyone
do.
who can remember the plays.
I know. But I think we get drunk on some of that stuff with McVay.
Dude, he remembered plays
I
from
know.
2 years ago.
I know. I just think we get
And they went back and checked him, and they were
I
right.
think we get drunk on some of that stuff with McVay and how likable he is.
Right.
And I
Have
don't
you
know
seen
that
him?
I know. I'm with you. He's very handsome. Have you seen his wife? He's done Done well for him.
Rat
So.
Fink.
Speaking of which, you seen Mike Zimmer got engaged?
No.
Oh, God.
No. Mike Zimmer, the ex.
Yeah, the former Vikings coach.
Oh, didn't his wife pass away?
Yeah.
Isn't that what happened?
Yes.
Or was his kid?
No, his wife passed away, I believe. Had breast cancer, correct?
His wife passed away,
I
and he's
think-
back in the game?
Oh, well, he's taken now.
Okay, let me.
Hang on a second.
What?
What a rat
Yeah.
Fink.
Yeah.
His wife's only been gone a couple years. What a rat Fink.
Former Dallas Cowboys coach, or assistant coach, I guess, Mike Zimmer gets engaged to model and best friend Katarina Mikatin, who's
Yeah, she's probably a skank.
Jesus.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Would you not say that?
That's.
What year do you think it is?
Well, you can't say skank?
No.
You
You
can't?
definitely cannot say that.
Oh, Lord. How old is that
You
girl,
can't
by
do
the
that.
way?
She's apparently she's like 40.
Oh,
she's 42
no.
apparently.
No, she's
Yeah.
not. That's her daughter. That girl's not 42 years old.
Apparently.
No,
she's
she isn't.
40.
No, she's not.
Look at me. I'm 41. and we
That
look-
girl's not 42 years old.
I don't think she's 42
That's
either.
photoshopping.
She's lovely. She's good for him. Apparently, she says she's 43.
I didn't know you couldn't say skank anymore.
No, you definitely cannot say that.
Why?
Don't.
What?
Stop saying it.
Okay, but
I know you're saying what you think is that in 15 days or whatever it is, we're all going to be allowed to say it again. I understand that.
I thought it was
What
yesterday.
is it? 12
Didn't it
days,
just happen
12 days.
yesterday or no?
2 days ago, you mean?
Two-
2 days ago?
What's the date? It's 12. I know that in your mind, we're all calling it the Gulf of America, and we're doing the whole, Canada's the 51st state. I understand where you are.
I think there's something to that, by the way.
Not.
I think there was.
There's
I think that was pretty
not.
funny. Why don't they just be a
There's
state?
not.
You guys, this guy's got some creative ideas.
Yeah, they're creative. I'll give you that. Some creative.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
she's got an Instagram.
Oh,
That's Mrs. Zimmer. She's
Soon to be Mrs. Zimmer.
yeah, soon to be Mrs. Zimmer.
soon to be Mrs. Mrs. Zimmer
Well, you said
in
it
about
down
6
over there.
years.
They seem very happy together.
Yeah, I'm
She
sure
seems
they
to be
do.
very successful too. So I don't think this is
At
I
what?
don't know. At everything she's doing.
At what?
At all of
Well,
the
apparently
things-
that picture makes her look very
all of the
successful.
things she's doing. All right, real
All
quick.
right, Steelers 28, Ravens 24
Sure.
in a shootout.
All right, very good. Would you rather Wednesday? Would you rather number
Oh,
one?
I got one question. Do you think Ovechkin's breaking the record this year?
I think he probably runs out of time this year. But
Okay.
Griffin,
I think it's going to be close.
Griffin, text John if you want anything from Chick-fil-A.
Oh.
Yeah. Just going to say it on the air.
Kinda.
Just going to, or just yell it into the other room if he wants something. I brought some cookies. You're always hungry. I brought. You want some cookies?
No, I'm good. I think he.
In here last week, ready to lick everything off everyone else's plates.
Well, you need more. That. By the
I
way,
don't have any beans for you, sorry.
any bean pizza?
Pizza beans.
Pizza
No,
beans
pizza
laying
beans.
around? Did you see Blackbird?
What's Blackbird? I don't think I did. No.
Oh, the South African hottie and the guy that played Richard Jewell.
Paul Walter Hauser.
Do you have Apple?
No.
Oh,
No. I
did
always
you see
can't-
Blackbird?
I have not seen
I
Blackbird.
would. My deal with Apple was I always got it whenever the new season of Ted Lasso came out, and then I canceled it as soon as the season
This
was over.
Blackbird, I've seen it. Now I saw when it came
Is it
out.
a movie or a show?
It's a six.
It's a
It's a
show,
six.
right?
Yeah, it's 12 hours long.
All right.
It's
Oh, Taron Egerton.
yeah.
Ray Liotta's in it?
Ray Liotta's unbelievable. Dude, let me tell you
That's the
something.
last thing he did?
And I watched it, and then I did whatever, and then I did the Ted Lasso thing. Then you go back and watch it again to see what you missed the first time, right? This dude,
All right.
the Richard Jewell guy, is absolutely spectacular.
I'll watch it.
I don't know if he won any awards for that. He was incredible. It's a little tough to watch if you have young kids because
Okay.
he's a serial killer.
Okay, I'm probably not going to choose to watch it with the kids.
Well, no. Don't watch it with the kids.
That's
It's
the
going to give you
point.
nightmares.
What's that?
It's going to give
It's
you
gonna
nightmares.
bother
Worry about
you.
your kids.
Oh, got it.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
But the dude, what's the guy's name that all the girls like? The lead guy?
Taron Egerton.
He was great, too.
I love that Drew started by calling him the South African hottie.
That's the only way I know it.
That's what he came
That's
up
what
with.
my wife keeps saying. Where's
All
that
right,
guy
yeah.
from?
All right,
He's
quick. Would you
UK.
rather?
He's what?
He's from the UK.
Oh, I thought it was from
Settle
South
down.
Africa.
He's from Birkenhead, England.
Would you rather?
thought it was from South
Zay
Africa.
Flowers miraculously is back and 100% for Saturday night, but unfortunately, out of nowhere, something pops up and Roquan Smith is out Saturday, or Zay is out as expected, but Roquan's fine.
We're going to win by 24
Pick
points
one.
no matter what.
Pick one.
I don't want Roquan being hurt.
You're sticking with what you got.
Yeah.
You're the New York Jets. Would you rather make a reasonable hire like Aaron Glenn or get wild and go ahead and bring back Rex?
They're not talking about that, are they?
They're 100. They interviewed him.
Rex Ryan is going on every single person that will give him a microphone and say, "I'm the next New York Jets head coach."
Oh my God! Give me the other guy. Rex
I don't
is
know,
a train
man.
wreck.
But that's the Jets.
Rex is a train wreck.
What? He's the only guy that's ever succeeded as the coach of the Jets.
He's winning me over. I think I'd take
Dick
Rex.
Cass was walking around asking people what they thought of Brian and Rex. He didn't even ask Rex. Rex said, "Hey, Dick,
Yeah.
got a minute?"
Yeah.
Dick's like, "Yeah, what do you need?" He goes, "Yeah, I heard you were asking people about Brian.
Yeah, right.
Can I chime in?"
You understand, the Jets have only ever won.
Where's
with
his crazy
Rex
brother,
Ryan
by
as
the
their
way?
head coach. I don't know what happened to Rob. He was here for a minute. I don't know where he ended up after that.
No, Aaron Glenn. I mean,
have you watched
anybody.
Have you watched the Jerry Springer documentary yet?
Oh no.
Oh
You
boy,
watched it already?
I watched it.
No.
I watched 3 minutes of the golf last night, and then I spent the rest of the night watching the Jerry Springer documentary.
Is it?
Rob Ryan is.
Was it all? Were they all fake?
No.
Oh.
In fact, I didn't remember some. Did you know that one of them led to a murder?
No.
Okay, there was a
Why are you
there was
whispering?
like a
Yeah, it's
love
a show, right?
There was a love triangle show that they did
Okay.
where like the guy was married
Did-
to one woman,
Didn't
but
know
then
it. Right. She
the
showed up.
whole thing. He ended up killing one of the ex-wife. It was a huge controversy that I had utterly forgotten about.
Oh my God.
I was so convinced that all of this was
Now, that
fake.
was when TV was TV.
It was coached up, right? Like they bring these people in with their story,
Right,
and
sure.
then they'd coach them up when they
Right,
got there,
right.
and then they'd try to get them to fight and do all those things. But the stories were in fact, so much so, this blew my mind. One of the producers got fired because these people showed up, and it was a fake. They went to fight, and it was fake. Like, he wouldn't actually hit the other guy. And then they realized it was because the whole thing was made up. They fired the longtime producer of the show that booked that episode. That part of it, the most mind-blowing part of the Jerry Springer documentary, because I'm with you. I assumed it was all fake.
Yeah, I mean, it was
All of
wrestling.
it. All of it, I thought. Was
Nobody's that crazy.
100%.
Right.
Apparently, it was a Jerry Springer himself refused to do the show if the stories weren't real. There was a murder.
That was
A
TV at its
murder
best back
occurred.
then, buddy.
But they were all coached up. So,
Rob Ryan's a defensive assistant with the Raiders.
What was the other one?
now.
Crazy
Eh,
one?
probably.
Oh, Maury Povich. I
yeah,
caddied
not
for-
nearly like Jerry.
I caddied for him once
Did you really?
at Caves Valley.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can
He was married
guarantee
to Connie
you.
Chung.
I can guarantee. I did know that. I can guarantee you that there will be no more snow this winter.
Yes.
Or all of the. If you're a pervert, all of the snow you'd like. Because I'm telling you, any adult that likes snow, you have something wrong with you.
No doubt.
If you find the prudest member of your family and the two of you sit down and you watch every episode of Jerry Springer together this year.
Well, first of all, that's way too many.
Well, it's a lot.
I mean, make me watch 10.
Tell you what, I'll edit that for your sake.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
for
gonna be more than
Brenda.
Not
10.
10.
Yeah, more than 10.
100.
How many episodes are there?
It's 100 hours.
It's not 100. Were they an hour long?
I
You don't have to
think
watch
so.
the commercials. Take all
Okay,
that.
that's easier.
What if you did have to watch commercials?
No more snow.
Yeah.
Can you tell me it's going to be 50?
I can't give you that. Can't give you that.
If you'll give me 50,
No more
There
snow.
are 5,000 episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
Jerry Springer. You have to watch 1,000.
Yeah.
no.
You got to watch 20%.
Yeah,
of
I'll take my chances. No more snow.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Who's the family member you're gonna be sitting
Oh,
down
I have
and
no
watching this
idea.
with?
Oh, my father-in-law, he'd get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Enjoy that.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, my Uncle Mike will do it for sure. He probably
No,
already
that's
has.
the problem. It's got to be somebody who wouldn't be
Oh, they wouldn't be
the
able.
crudest member of
Oh,
your
oh.
family. Not somebody that would be interested. Somebody that would be the most uncomfortable
Well, I'll
watching.
leave
this.
Margaret out.
Yeah. No, right.
Why?
Not a chance.
Yeah, Margaret.
She,
I s-
actually,
I remember
she'd be a
Margaret
lot of
not
fun.
being very prude at all.
what are you talking about? I don't know.
That was
know what
before
you're
you guys
alluding-
met.
Drew.
was be-
Oh my
That was
God.
before you guys met.
We had a group of the kids, friends, and their parents were all over, like in November.
Oh, I like where
All
this
of-
is going.
No.
No, okay.
These are, they're in a Catholic school now, right? Like, so
Good for
we
them.
have all of the kids, and so there's like, and we're all sitting out by the fire, and we're smoking cigars, and I don't know how, but I dropped.
I don't know how, but
Yeah.
I don't know how,
No,
but I started kissing my
Yeah,
my
yeah.
friend's wife.
No, I shared. it just came up accidentally, but I shared this detail from our past.
Oh, okay.
Like, I just...
With friends?
Yeah, just mentioned... But people that I'm not close with. I just use that term.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, well, we had a... And, like, the record scratches. Because these are people that we've been friends with for a couple years and know us as parents and, respectable adults in the community. And not what we were when we were 25, 26.
I ever told you about my friend Steve?
Yeah, exactly.
I ever told you about my buddy
Steve.
My buddy Steve and I used to do.
Invite Steve over. I brought
with his girlfriend.
I just mentioned that.
Right.
And I swear to God,
gotta go.
The whole party.
That was it.
It was just the guys.
Let's get the kids. Let's get the kids.
One of the women was outside. She goes back in, and now it's a whole. Now all the women are. It's all they wanted to talk about for the rest of the night.
Let's go get the kids.
I just sat there like,
let's get the kids. Time to go.
DrewsMorningDish.com.
Yep. I'm going to write about Ravens Steelers tomorrow.
Okay.
I was going to do it today, but I wanted to cover the TGL.
Yeah, it was way too important.
And that was the end of that.
Way too important. Anything else?
No, I got a good feeling about this one.
Yeah?
I really do.
Go for it. Well, look, man, it's the playoffs. It's a huge game. You got to win this one. We all know that.
Yeah, I'm going to say Ravens.
Rivalry game.
Yeah, and we're going to score a lot of points. Ravens 30, Steelers 33 in overtime.
Guy, Drew Forrester, DrewsMorningDish.com. When we come back in, Brenda Frese. We're getting ready. Maryland, USC. Huge game tonight in College Park. That's next. Glenn Clark Radio.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry. Protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
The votes were all counted, and the results are official. Royal Farms was named #1 for food in the USA Today 10 Best poll, receiving more votes than any other convenience store chain in America. The next time you want to get some good food fast, doesn't it make sense to go to Royal Farms? Voted best in the USA and home of world-famous chicken. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Would You Rather Wednesday edition of the program. Get your responses for Would You Rather Wednesday in at Glenn Clark Radio, Facebook.com/Glenn Clark Radio. Somebody's winning a $30 gift card to Glory Days Grill. And don't forget, the best of issue of Press Box is available at your neighborhood Royal Farms. Any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. Our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year on the cover. Great story from Bo Smolka about what Lamar Jackson means to the community both on and off the field. And then we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of the year inside this print issue of Press Box. Go pick it up today or read it all, pressboxonline.com/bestof. Had to do this a little bit earlier on because of her game day schedule, but a huge game in College Park tonight. Opportunity to catch up with Brenda Frese here on GCR. Coming up tonight in College Park, a huge top 10 showdown. Maryland taking on USC. Joining us now, she is, of course, the head coach of the undefeated Terps. She is Brenda Frese, and she's back with us here on GCR. Coach, it's Glenn. It's always great to chat. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Yeah, good morning, Glenn. Great to be on.
I want to go back to the start of the season because I remember you and I talking about how many new pieces were coming together, and you told me, hey, might need a little patience. It might take a minute. They're talented, but it might take a minute. What happened to all that taking a minute?
Well, boy, was I wrong. I'm glad, coach speak, right? Coach speak. But I credit these women. You know, they were the ones that we were able to foster that chemistry early, taking a foreign trip over to Croatia in the summertime, and just really, that gave us a huge advantage, and, we were able to build it from there.
Was there any moment or any one, player coming along or a change in something that made you realize just how good this group was going to be so quickly?
I think the measuring factor early was the Duke game.
Yeah.
You just didn't know how they were going to respond. So that, arena that was packed and, a top 10 opponent coming in ahead of us. And, man, we punched first and never looked back. I thought that was the response where I really saw just how competitive this group is. And, fortunately for us, I mean, they hate to lose. They love to win. And it's, one of the most competitive groups I've been fortunate to be able to coach.
All right, we have to get to the important stuff. Obviously, you're okay after the collision from the other night, correct? Like you're good.
Did anyone not see that collision? Man, that came fast. But you saw the bounce back, right?
Yes, right there. Yeah. Hair look good.
The love from the girls, they had to make sure the hair was fixed right. So I'm here for it. Those kind of hustle plays by Kayleen and the girls. So, yeah, I'm doing great.
I bring it up in part, like, I got to watch the majority of that game on Sunday, and I know it got a little hairy there in the second half, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But you get the big win over Duke at home. You beat Michigan State at home. That type of test, going on the road to a rabid environment and getting the job done like that, how important was that for this group in a natural road game against a really good team in front environment like that?
Yeah, again, I mean, just it tells you a lot about this group. I mean, they hadn't lost in about 25 games dating back to Caitlin Clark, and sold-out arena. Their fans are, against you every single play, and that wears on you throughout the 40-minute game. So just, again, kind of punch for punch, blow for blow. I mean, just the fact that they stayed the course. And, luckily we had that lead like you talked about in the first half. But it's just a really resilient group. Even when Iowa cut it to 6, then Schmeichel hits a big three. Yep. We get a stop and a steal, and just, plays being made by one another on this team.
She is Brenda Frese. Again, tonight, Maryland, USC in College Park. It is going to be electric. You're going to want to be there. Coach, I wonder if you could, too, because the other video that I think people saw that I think has been really special was the one of you talking to Bree McDaniel and telling her about how much you love her grit. Can you kind of tell me what that moment was all about and what is so unique about her and her toughness and her tenacity that you enjoy coaching so much?
Yeah, well, what I love about Bree McDaniel is she's a dog. She's our toughest defender, just relentless. Bree's been kind of battling some nagging, like ankle, foot type of injury stuff, and just is kind of continuing to pour it on for her team. And, that's what that moment was about, because, she's not 100% pain-free yet. We're trying to get her there, but she just lays everything out there for her team. And I love coaching Bree. I mean, we're really fortunate, 3 years with her and just watching that growth every single day. But, a huge part, we're going to need her tonight. You got the best player in the country in Juju. And if this is your one opportunity because USC doesn't come here next year to come in and see this really, really impressive sophomore against a really elite, top 10 team here in Maryland that's undefeated. So you're not going to want to miss it.
I'm gonna get back to Juju in a second. I just wanted to ask a little bit. You obviously knew offensively what you were getting in Kaylin Schmeichel. Like she has been a bucket, her entire collegiate career. But what she's brought as a complete player, as a defender this year, how much do you feel like she's even improved her game from what you saw of her when she was at Rutgers?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's just scratched the surface, and I think that is what's so exciting. We knew she could score, but, just her willingness to want to be a complete player is what I love about Kayleen. I mean, she wants to be an elite level defender. She wants to, be able to make the right play and be able to give the right assist when people are doubling her. So she's fun to coach because she's a winner and she just wants to be great at everything. And yeah, I mean, her 6 steals that she had at Iowa, I mean, every single one of them was so valuable.
I mean, I think it's been an incredible story, right? Like, I think it's been an amazing part of how you all have been able to put all this together. And then the other player that's really jumped off the page at me is, like, I feel like Saylor has, again, risen her game to a level that's really been difference-making.
She really has. And, that's a double-double, someone you can count on for, at least 10 boards every single game. What a luxury. People talk about our rebounding now coming back and being in the top 5 in the country. Well, it starts with Saylor. I mean, that's someone you can rely in and night out, and going to have to be able to have that because we're going against one of the elite rebounding teams in the country tonight. But, man, her ability to stretch the three and be so versatile, I can't take her off the court, which is a great luxury to be able to have. But long time coming, I was that first offer for Saylor and bringing her back home and just seeing her playing with the confidence and her love for the game has been really special to be able to see.
All right, so tonight, USC, Juju Watkins. I know you're used to this the last couple of years. You've gotten tons of questions about Caitlin Clark and, Angel when she was here and then down at LSU. But what this player means to the sport, and then maybe not wanting to show too much reverence because you got to go try to beat her. What's the line between those two things as a coach?
She's the best player in the country for a reason, and it's going to have to be by committee tonight. But she's strong and powerful. She's a 3-level player that can score it. The 3, the mid range, and can bully her away to the rim just with the strength and power that she has. So, and then she's got great weapons around her. That's why they're ranked in the top 5. But a must-see, those that got in here last year to see Caitlin Clark. I mean, I know it's an 8:30 tip, but it's worth it to be able to come see her in person. And, we're going to do everything we can to try to – we're not going to be able to stop her, but to make those shots as difficult as possible and make her really have to work tonight.
It's always the eternal question, right? Like, do you do everything in your power to take her away and make someone else beat you, or do you accept that she's going to get hers? And, like, what is your philosophy when you go up against players like this as a coach?
Yeah, we worked both ways with Caitlin, right? Like, we worked she was both theories. There's not a right or a wrong. You kind of have to figure that out within your scout, and without giving away the scout.
I understand. I do get that you're not gonna just come right out and say that.
All right. But let me tell you, I mean, this is where women's basketball is at. Juju is on the State Farm commercials and one of the best of the best to ever come through this game. So someone that you definitely want to come out and witness.
There's no question about that. Truly special. Now, you know a thing or two about electric atmospheres, obviously, Coach, right? Like, this is nothing new for you and for this program. How much of an advantage is it for your team? Like, obviously, you had one against Duke earlier this season, and you're kind of used to these, big national audiences, network TV games. How much does that help your girl? This isn't going to shake them, I assume.
No, not at all. And this is why our players come here to Maryland. And, I was doing film with Saylor yesterday, and, she said to me, it's a full circle moment. This was her when she was a little kid growing up, coming into Xfinity, and now here she is the player that these kids are coming in to watch. And, I thought that was so well said by Sailor, and, it is. It's why players come here. We have the best fans in the country, and it's going to be an electric atmosphere tonight.
Of course, Sailor from Frederick went to Middletown, so it makes all the sense in the world that she was going to games. Coach, you enter this, this kind of starts a really brutal portion of your schedule, right? Like, there are an awful lot of top 10 teams ahead in the next couple of weeks. What does this stretch do for, obviously we know you're a really good team. Like, there's no debate about that. But for this type of grind to prove, can you prove that this is a team that's capable of winning a national championship over the course of the next few weeks?
Right. Well, my son the other day, he asked me, we're undefeated, why are we not in the top 4? And I explained there's just so many elite great teams this season, and the depth and the parity. And our conference says it all. Like, this is what you get to play every night. You're at Iowa, now you turn around and play at USC. Then we have the stretch of Texas, Ohio State, UCLA, all 3 in a row. This is what prepares you, right? It prepares you. It's not going to, make or break or give you an indication, because the NCAA tournament is its own beast, but it prepares you for that. It's going to get you to that level where you have to show up every single night and perform, or at some point in March you're going home. And that's what I love about where this season, this conference is so different from any other season I've ever coached with a team. And I'm glad this is a roster that I'm putting up against anybody. So, just really proud of them. And we're just going to continue to put our head down and keep working and seeing what our strengths are and what we have to work on before we get to March.
I was going to just ask before we wrap, like, do you feel like, and I'm assuming based on what you just said that you do, that like this team, given like what they've done so far, is ready for this kind of meat grinder of the next few weeks?
Yeah, ready or not, here it comes. But this is, how can you not? I love this roster. These players come every single day ready to work, and they take film like that, scouting, practices, coaching. That's a coach's dream when you have a team that's bought in like that.
Coach, really excited for tonight. Again, 8:30 in College Park. Absolutely. If you can get down there, it is a night you want to be there. If you absolutely can't, then Fox Sports 1 is how you can watch it for Maryland and USC. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome, and really, really impressed by everything that your team has done so far, and can't wait to see what's next. Coach Brenda Frese, always appreciate you taking the time for us. Thanks so much for doing this morning. Let's chat again as we get closer to March, all right?
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Go Terps.
Yeah, that's tonight. Maryland, USC. Juju Watkins.
Maryland 71, USC 78.
I thought you were a Maryland fan. I thought you liked the team. I thought you were.
I am. Go
Are
Terps.
you? He's still here, by the way.
Well, I had to have
John Colson brought yogurt, and so he said,
I stuck around.
I guess I'll stick around for that. You actually don't get paid for the extra 15 minutes, though. Yeah, so that was your payment for the extra 15 minutes.
That's okay. I'll take it.
Yogurt. Not bad. And there's cookies. Please take some cookies.
No, can't. New year.
Oh, what are you doing this year? What's your...
Well, can't you tell? I'm already.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
I'm already, correct.
Look at you.
Yep.
Anything else that we didn't cover that you wanted to get into before I take another break here? You're excited about Charlie Morton, I assume. Fire up.
Look.
Somebody did ask me today. So the Giants gave Verlander the same deal.
Yes.
And I had a buddy text me this morning and said, would you have rather had Verlander at that number than Morton at that number? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think at this point – I get what you're saying is that when Justin Verlander was great, he was a lot better than anybody else. But he barely pitches anymore.
Look, the reality is, you can say whatever you want about Morton. In the last 6 years, notwithstanding the COVID year, doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 6 years, he's missed a total of 3 starts.
Right.
You can say whatever you want.
I don't think he's going to be very good.
Do I think it's a great signing?
No.
Not at all.
I think it's Kyle Gibson.
Yeah. I would say this. I have way more confidence in him than I do the Japanese guy. The Japanese guy's never pitched in the big leagues.
Yeah,
I think this is fine.
You'd have to define confidence for me, right? Because I think there could be more upside to Sagano. Like, I think there could be a Wei In Chen type of upside to Sagano.
Maybe.
Just because he throws strikes.
But Morton's going to give you 165 or 170 innings. And, his whip will be 1.275, and his ERA will be 4.18, and you could do a lot worse than him. I'm not defending it. I'm way beyond.
But it's macro micro. The micro is I'm fine with. It's a 1-year deal.
Right.
You bring in Charlie Morton for 1 year to play a certain role. Fine. You needed pitching bulk. You got it. He's going to give you innings. He's going to make starts for you. It's the macro. It's the
sure. We're not any better.
Is your rotation good enough? No, not nearly good enough. Not today. Now there's still time. They could still swing a trade. They could still do something.
You think so?
They could.
Maybe Castillo.
Maybe Castillo. I would be really interested in Bryce Miller. I mean, I'd be. I don't know that Bryce
Castillo's the only reasonable. Now that they didn't get Christian Walker or Goldschmidt, I think Seattle is the one place still looking for something that looks like Ryan Mountcastle. And if we're willing to give up, and maybe this is where they're arguing, maybe it's we want Mountcastle and Kierstad, and Elias is saying, how about Mountcastle and, somebody else you've never heard of.
Correct.
I don't think
Judd Fabian.
I don't think Castillo's numbers are great, but he would help.
Yes, he would definitely help.
Yeah.
He's not an ace.
Right.
But he's a, you could throw him in there with Eflin and Grayson Rodriguez and say
Kramer.
that's an okay 1, 2, 3. And as we pointed out, the Dodgers didn't have an ace last year either. I think Yamamoto's better than any of that group that we're talking about, but he's not an ace. He's not a traditional workhorse. Now, the problem is they had so much bulk pitching.
Dodgers are in big trouble.
Why? Because
they lost Walker Buehler.
That's a great point. They did lose Walker Buehler. I don't know how they're going to make up for that.
They're in big trouble.
No idea how they're going to possibly make up for Walker Buehler. I thought you were going to make a joke about the fires. I really didn't know where you were going.
Shipped off Gavin Lux and just signed that Japanese kid, and they're like, "Yeah, we're good."
Yep, that's where they are. Remember Gavin Lux? They wouldn't make them. They wouldn't put him in the Machado trade. They were like, "No way, not doing it."
Now they just gave him to the Reds for Southwest Airlines tickets.
Correct. Now, in fairness,
imagine Gavin Lutz getting that call.
Right, you got to go to the Reds now.
Who just shipped you off? Oh man,
Right.
Yeah, you're going to. I tell you what, though,
it's a historic organization.
We got a good feeling about this for you.
Yeah.
You're going somewhere they really need you. Oh, that's great. And I mean, they've been to some World Series. Oh, that's awesome. Where am I going? Astros? Not really.
Yeah, it's been a minute,
but it's in the Midwest.
Right. They do like baseball there. They are big baseball.
You're going to the Reds. You know what he said to that?
Yeah.
They're still in the league.
Hitter-friendly ballpark.
I didn't know they were still in the league. Yeah, they are still in the league.
They still do that.
The Redlegs.
He's trying to think if he knows any players on the team. He's like, do I know any?
Derek Dietrich.
Who's on the team?
Is that Della Alley guy on that team and me on the team?
Yeah, exactly his name.
Anything else? Good to see you.
You too.
Appreciate you sticking around and hanging out.
Come to your house and chew gum.
Yeah, come to your house and chew gum. That's the way it's going to go.
I will not be here next Wednesday.
Oh, no. Now, what are we going to do?
I will be. Oh, no, wait.
Oh, thank God.
He's got a trip to Buffalo.
No, I will be there. I will be here.
Where are you headed?
I'm going to Florida Wednesday afternoon.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Going down there. You know the game's going to be in Buffalo.
Got a little bit of golf to play.
Yeah. How long are you sticking around?
Down there?
Yeah.
I'll be back President's Day. Inauguration Day.
Oh. Yeah.
Inauguration
It's also
Day.
MLK Day. I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
Inauguration Day.
It's also MLK Day.
I'm sure.
All right.
I'm sure the great Martin Luther King.
This was the day.
is saying to them.
It's going well.
Really?
Yeah.
You're doing this to me, huh? You're putting this guy in. You're putting this guy in on my day, huh?
Yeah, sure are. That's the thing we're doing. Hey, Griffin, remind everybody about the
Blackbird. Don't forget about it.
I'll look at it. I will. Drew Forrester. It's a hooded forearm.
Baltimore is welcoming the excitement of the Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament at the CFG Bank Arena from February 25th through March 1st. Make sure you get your tickets now. They are available now at Ticketmaster.com for the Food Lion CIAA men's and women's basketball tournament, CFG Bank Arena, February 25th through March 1st.
All right, when we come back in, we will get a tidbit and two, but to wrap it up, Glenn Clark Radio.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
Pressbox's Project Game Day is the place to be after every game this season. Join Glenn Clark, Rita Hubbard, Super Bowl 35 champion Femi Ayanbadejo, and our cast of regulars as they break down what happened, why it mattered, and what it means moving forward. You can watch the show at PressBoxOnline.com/gameday or Pressbox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Project Game Day is brought to you by the Green Turtle Sportsbook in Towson and Canton, Easy Pass, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. So join us for Project Game Day after every game day this football season at PressBoxOnline.com/game day.
Treat yourself and taste the Baltimore tradition that is the legendary Costas Inn. Hey, it's Stan the Fan Charles. For over 50 years, the Costas Inn has been a Baltimore original, dishing out their amazingly scrumptious, fat, award-winning crab cakes and steamed crabs. Every season is crab season at Costas, so make your plans now by calling 410-477-1975 and reserve your taste of heaven. Sit back, crack some crabs, and watch the Ravens chase down another title on Costas's 15 TVs. On Monday nights, Costas offers their half-pound jumbo lump crab cake with 2 sides for under $30, and there are nightly specials Monday through Friday. So head on down to the Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard or visit them at CostasInn.com.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
COVID-19 and flu viruses are circulating in Maryland. But don't worry, protection is within arm's reach. Protect your health with this year's COVID-19 and flu shots. It's safe and convenient to get them both at the same time. Flex your protection. For more information, visit health.maryland.gov/vaccines.
This message paid for by the Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
It was this was the brainchild of Chad Dukes. It was a great segment. And he just said, we're going to go get drunk at Applebee's on Sunday. And I was like, we're going to do what now? He was like, it's an idea for the show. We go to Applebee's. We start ordering shots they've never heard of. This is in 06, so it was just it was a family restaurant then, not a known
Yeah,
as
I was
going to
say, this is where...
These were places where they served the alcohol, but like alcohol wasn't the point. And you just go, the idea was we went and we were 24, 25, whatever. I was 25, 23. God, I was 23. And you would just go get hammered, and then just record audio of them. All right, you guys about done? Like that type of stuff until you finally got kicked out. And then you ended the bit when they kicked you out. Chad would turn around and say, "What's your problem, man?" It was great. People loved this segment. And we did it at Apple. We did it at Chipotle. We went to a Chipotle where they in Arizona served it. By the way, does he just need friends? Like, he's still here. He's still.
Oh, I'll leave.
I'm
getting paid till 12:30.
I've said goodbye to him twice.
Well, I'm getting paid till 12:30.
Twice. I've said goodbye to him on the show.
Well, third time's
He's
the charm.
still here. I mean, it's fine. I'm happy to have him here. But normally he goes.
I mean, I'll even get paid for another half hour. What's this?
That was mine.
That's his
line.
line. See that? I told you we were gonna get to that point of the show. I told you that was.
If you leave Chick-fil-A laying around,
I told you
it's
that
getting
was
confiscated.
happening.
All right, I gotta go.
Yeah. All right, goodness. We did it at Chipotle. I was pointing out that
Did
apparently we got drunk. They serve beer at the Chipotles in Arizona.
Okay.
At every single one?
I didn't go to all of them, but all the ones that I went to.
Wow.
And we would just keep walking back up and getting more beers and watch as the people that were working there got more and more concerned about how many beers we were consuming at a Chipotle. They were like, this is not. I think one time we brought a funnel with us to the Chipotle. It was a great segment. I just noticed they're doing dollar beer night at Towson on Sunday, and I suggested that Griffin could go over and
You want me to go ahead and do this?
do it. What's your problem?
You know, there was a scene of Fest Times at Ridgemont High where
I know everyone there.
Sean Penn said, "Hey, bud, what's your
problem?" And
that was probably what it came from.
it absolutely.
Right, I gotta go.
There's Drew. He's told us that 17 times. I'm really starting to worry if he just needs like people to hang out with. Like, last week he just needed food. Somebody needed to feed him. This week I'm starting to worry that
once you gave me that pizza beans thing,
you were just hoping that if you stuck around longer today, there would be more pizza beans.
It was so good.
It's so weird. What a weird bit. I smoked some queso dip last night.
Dang.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I put a lot of effort into it. I put way too much effort.
How'd that feel? How'd that make you feel?
I was too cold. I didn't care for the cold part of it, like being outside. But I was in charge of snacks for book club tonight. So last time Tim Barbalas made chili. He made chili.
What's book club?
We do book club as part of the show now. It's Rita, Ken, Tim, and I do book club.
They read books.
No,
weirdos?
we don't read books. We watch a crime documentary and then we talk about it.
In this case, Jerry Springer this week. That was
No, we didn't. That wasn't for book club. That was for my own enjoyment.
That was a double murder.
No,
I
it could have been.
I seriously got to go.
Are you sure? Are you sure this time? He was still here.
I got to go.
He was still. Again, I said goodbye 3 different times. I was like, all right, that's Drew. Drew'sMorningDish.com. That was good to see Drew at It's a Hooded 400 on Twitter.
Go.
That's Drew, the coach at Calvert Hall. I did it 3 times. Gave him the walk-off music and everything. And he just stayed there. Like he assumed I was bringing in the next guest and we were all paneling together or something like. And now let's bring in Norm McDonald.
Oh, yeah. You had Barbara on from Maryland. I wanted to hear that.
Barbara. It's true. What are we doing? The Orioles announced their promotional schedule.
Oh yes,
today.
yeah, they got some good ones. That's what everyone wanted to hear today.
Star Wars Weekend is the one that everybody seems.
I know you'll
to
be there at that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you know me. That's the big one for me. Bunch bobbleheads.
I do love they're doing they continue the tradition. Pride Night is of course against Texas this year. You know
that is a good bit.
Yes.
That is a good bit. See, I always thought that was like an Angelos thing because like they're more left leaning.
Okay.
Like the Angelos family.
Well, the thing I noticed is that every team that plays Texas at home in June, they have their Pride Night.
That's great, man.
They have. I know the Phillies did it last year.
That's great.
I think Cleveland did it last year too.
Good for them. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. They're doing themed Colton Cowser and Gunnar Henderson Star Wars bobbleheads during Star Wars weekend.
Yeah.
They're doing a David Rubenstein bobblehead, which is interesting timing. I think we still like David Rubenstein.
I mean, yeah, he signed Charlie Moore.
Yeah.
Tyler O'Neill.
I think.
Multi-year contract.
Just interesting timing. They're doing a hockey jersey.
That one looks good.
I haven't seen what it looks like yet.
They sent because some of the people got it pictures early.
Okay.
It looks good.
There's a Grayson bobblehead. There's
a Jim Palmer replica
jersey giveaway.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. There's they're doing a cowboy hat and a corduroy cap. I don't mind either of those.
Yeah.
Jordan Westberg bobblehead.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Did you see the bowling shirt?
No, I didn't see the bowling shirt.
Looks pretty good.
It's pretty good. They're doing an Adley Rutschman golf bobblehead, apparently. What? Oh, yeah.
Golf?
All the stuff that you're used to, the Hawaiian shirt. They're apparently doing 2 Hawaiian
yeah,
shirts.
I saw that. I was like, oh, did you see the Yacht Rock cap?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Very.
You might as well go to every game this week.
Right?
They're doing 2 Hawaiian shirt giveaways, and the Yacht Rock is that same week, and fireworks.
What weekend is that?
That is July 10th through 12th.
Oh, that's the Mets and the Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Marlins, they could probably use a few more giveaways to get people to the ballpark that weekend. But yeah, Orioles promotional schedule is out for you to check it out. And for a minute, you'll forget about everything. You'll be so excited about that you'll forget about. Oh, and I think I saw that they're expanding the splash zone this year.
Yeah, because you got more seats now.
Well, I don't think it's just that. I thought they were going to do 2 full sections.
Oh, yeah. That
was
is what
the
it
bit.
sounded like. Yes.
Yeah, it's not just that there's,
Yeah.
Do we know that as a fact that they're putting seats back into the area?
I guess not necessarily.
Because somebody asked me that the other day.
The
they
rendering
were like,
there was a rendering released today, and they didn't have seats filled in it.
Right.
So
I got the sense that maybe they're not putting. They're not like.
They're gonna put like tables and.
I don't know what they're doing with it. I have no idea. I don't have that answer. Couldn't tell you.
Why not?
Well, We'll figure that out. All right, very good. Now, how about a tidbit? Tidbit is brought to you today by Project Game Day, which returns this Saturday night following Baltimore-Pittsburgh. Hang out with us, PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay. Myself, Rita, Femi, KZ, Stecca. I was going to say Griffin, but you're not. Are you doing? Or what's going on?
I mean, yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be me. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we will talk about that. We will.
I guess we'll have an awkward conversation. Griffin wanted to go to the game on Saturday night. I don't know what the
I
story.
can do both.
You think you can do both?
Yeah, not think I can.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I don't know what your game plan is here.
It's a great game plan.
I got a funny feeling it's not.
I think it is.
I got a funny feeling it's not a great game plan.
It's a good one.
We'll deal with it. Is it, though?
Yeah.
Anyway, PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay. It's all brought to you by Easy Pass, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, and the CIAA tournament.
So we did talk about the Florida-Tennessee game. Just a very bad performance by an AP number 1. Historically bad. The last time, these all come from Jared Burson on Twitter, by the way, a college basketball statistician. The first 30-point loss by an AP number 1 since 1968.
Of course, that was Texas Western.
No, it wasn't Texas Western. It was
Kentucky,
UCLA beat number 1 Houston at
the
time.
Sure.
In the Final Four. It was
Guy
the
Lewis,
Final Four.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was the last time there was a 30-point loss by the number 1.
Probably not Guy Lewis. I don't know if Guy Lewis is
Tennessee shot 21% from the field. They were 12 of 56. It is the lowest field goal percentage by a number 1 team in the shot clock era in at least the last 6 years. And then also Florida became the first team.
When you say it that way, it's not all that impressive.
Yeah,
it needs to be if you said it in the last at least the last 60 years, we're like, okay, the stats aren't that good from before then. But when you only say the last 6 years, we're like, we have the stats from 8 years ago.
Florida's the first team to allow a top 10 opponent to score 100 points on them, in the same season. So that was the Kentucky the other night,
right?
And then
but they won
them,
that.
they did.
They won that game,
and to hold another to 45 or fewer in the same season since 1996. And of course, it happened in the span of 4 days here for Florida.
How about that?
Janai Broom did have a big game for Auburn, likely the new number 1 Auburn, as they beat Texas at Texas, 20-12. He had 5 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals. 4th game this season with at least 20 points. 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. That is the most by any player in a season in the last 15 years. So now I'm torn. I don't know if do we want the Wizards to get Cooper Flagg or Janai Broom?
I don't care.
Although Broom is he? He's like 30 almost now. So maybe. So I guess Cooper Flagg's still.
You're not actually suggesting that I care.
Well, I mean, who would you take? Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
I don't care.
And
it's the Wizards. They're gonna screw it up. Also, they're probably not going to get the number 1 pick.
I think they are. Like they'll have the best chance.
Yes, they'll have the best odds. I agree with that, but it's a lottery system.
Yeah, well, someone's got to. They got to be the which team got to get.
Here's what you know:
point.
if the Wizards get the number 1 pick, it's because these guys stink. That's the way. Like the year they had the number 1 pick, they ended up with Kwame. They had Kwame Brown, dog. That was who they got with their number 1 pick.
They got so you think Cooper Flagg's he's gonna be bust?
If the Wizards get the number 1 pick.
What if it's
you don't understand. This is based on that.
Not.
If the Wizards get the number 1 pick, whoever the number 1 pick will stink.
It's a failure.
If they get the number 8 pick, then the number 1 pick is going to be generational.
What if they get the number 4 pick?
The number 1 pick, the first 3 picks will be generational.
Whoever they miss out on is going to be the 3 best players of all time.
That's the way it's going to go. Yes.
Bryce Young on Sunday had 3 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns.
I did not notice that.
In a game. He became only the 19th player to ever do this.
You want me to name 19 guys?
I do want to name 19. He became the 10th to do it since 2000. 9 other guys have done it this century.
Well, we know Josh Allen did it.
Josh Allen. He's only one of 2. Only 2 guys have ever done this twice in a game. Josh Allen has done it twice.
Well, we knew he did 3 and 3. I didn't know he had done it again.
3 passing,
Vic.
2 rushing. Yes, Michael Vick has done it.
How about Cam?
No, Cam Newton not on the list.
Well, that's surprising. How about Jalen Hurts?
Yes, Jalen Hurts.
About Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, Aaron Rodgers has done this.
I don't think Lamar's done it is the crazy part. Like, I don't.
He is not done. Lamar is not on this list yet.
Right, yeah.
That's why he's not
a
MVP.
good point. What about... See, a lot of these guys that I'm thinking of are before 2000. Like, Steve Young's before 2000.
Steve Young will be on the list, but yeah, he is. I just wanted to find that arbitrary cutoff. Because none of the other guys that before 2000, I don't think he'd be able to name.
Who are the other guys before 2000?
The ones that I think you could get, Jack Kemp.
I mean, maybe.
I wouldn't have. Steve Brogan.
No.
Those are really the only ones I had. Jim Hart.
Okay.
Bill Kenny.
Sure.
Eric Hipple.
Okay.
Dave Woodley.
Probably not.
Larry Rackstraw.
Oh, yeah. Larry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the list.
Those are the guys, prior to 2000.
Yikes.
Along with Steve Young.
Okay. Man, this is tricky now.
Yeah.
McNabb.
No. McNabb not on there.
At some point, I'm going to have to... Kaepernick.
Cap not on here.
At some point, I'm going to have to convert from...
Right.
Is it mobile quarter, or is it two guys that threw for 3 touchdowns and it fell in from the half-yard line? Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is on the list.
Fell in from the half-yard. Nobody fell in from the half-yard line like Tom Brady fell in from the half-yard line. Dante Culpepper.
No Culpepper.
Cordell Stewart.
Cordell Stewart. Josh Allen and Cordell Stewart, the only two to do this twice.
How about Ravens legend Cordell Stewart?
Right,
Let's
yes.
get that right. Jeff Blake.
No Jeff Blake. There's another Jeff.
There's a Jeff. Jeff. It's not Jeff Hostetler. Jeff Garcia.
Jeff Garcia has done this, yes.
I would not have gotten there. Certainly would not have gotten there.
I believe we're missing 2.
2, you say? Like hell, you say? Dak.
Not Dak.
Deshaun Watson.
Not Deshaun Watson.
All right, give me something. It's 12:30.
It'd be more. The one is definitely more. You know, he probably did it the way Tom Brady did it. Fallen in a couple times.
Ben.
Not Ben.
Rivers.
Not
Ryan.
Rivers. No.
Flacco. Favre. Drew Brees.
Drew Brees has done this. And then the other had like some scrambling ability, but like that was not what he was known for. But
okay, so nothing then.
Yeah, it was also very likely he probably just stuck his head over that goal line.
Doesn't help. It's not going to get me anywhere. You've given me no help with what you just told me.
He did not play this year.
Oh, Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill. Yes.
I don't know how I would have described Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
I don't know. He was a receiver at one point. He was a collegiate wide receiver. All right. Very good. Let's get tubular.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up totally tubular-wise this evening. As we've been talking about, Maryland USC, big one tonight on Fox Sports 1 at 8:30. As Juju Watkins, I know Paige Beckers is a huge star as well, obviously, this year, but she just got hurt. Is she? I think I saw it's only like a week or two maybe for Paige Beckers, so it's not. That was a big deal that she just got hurt. But Juju Watkins is the star in college hoops this season. So come check out USC and the Maryland women tonight, 8:30, Fox Sports 1 for that. Local teams in action tonight. Loyola's at Army, 6 o'clock on ESPN+. Navy 2-0 last week in the Patriot League. They're at Holy Cross at 6 o'clock. And Big Ten hoops tonight on BTN. USC, Indiana at 7. Penn State, Illinois at 9. All the rest of the college basketball, go to GlennClarkRadio.com, and you can find it there. Monumental Wizards Sixers at 7 o'clock. ESPN Thunder Cavaliers. That's a game tonight at 7. Thunder Cavs. Those teams very good. And then Spurs Bucks at 9:30. Monumental 2 for Canucks Capitals at 7:30. Then TNT has Avalanche Blackhawks at 7:30. Panthers and Hockey Club at 10 o'clock. That one's also on True TV. TBS tonight for AW Dynamite at 8. Non-sports.
Jamie Lee Curtis will be on Fallon because she's in that Pamela Anderson movie, The
Right.
Last Showgirl,
Right.
that you're excited about.
Yes, definitely watching that.
Tonight's the it's the
I
Abbott
thought she was
Elementary.
plugging Den of Thieves 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe I did my research wrong then. It's very possible you're right. It's the Abbott Always Sunny crossover tonight.
Oh, okay.
At 8:30.
Wait, but are they only doing that on Abbott? I thought they were like going to be one of those was going to be on Abbott and one of them was going to be on Sunny.
Oh, are they doing one of those?
I don't know.
Oh,
I thought that was the plan. But
tonight.
It
is
feels
the
like there
Abbott
hasn't
version.
been
I guess tonight's the
it feels
Abbott
like there hasn't been a season of Sunny in 3 years.
Yeah,
so I don't
agree.
know
So I
what's going
don't-
on there.
So do you think they might just bring it back for one special? Or
I don't know. I thought when they announced it that was the idea they were doing, but it might just be that it's just tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
but I'm a fan.
Yeah, 8:30 tonight.
I like
that
both shows.
That'll be right after Shifting Gears on ABC as well. This
sure.
is the Tim Allen Cat Dennings
I believe it's
show.
Richard Gere and the cast of Top Gear.
Oh.
And they flip
That'd actually be pretty good, I
flip
think.
roles, and Richard Gere drives a bunch of cars around, and then the crew from Top Gear they just be handsome. Like, I think that's the way.
I think it would work. Actually,
I think that's the idea of that concept.
Yeah.
Shifting gears.
Shifting gears.
I do like Kat Dennings for what it's
she
worth.
goes to live
I'm
with
a
Tim
fan.
Allen. It is about cars though as well because Tim Allen is the owner of a car restoration.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Of course he is. I'm pretty sure that's what he's played in every show he's ever been on. Like, that's just who he is. Anything else?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm excited about the
Special Forces World's Toughest Test,
season
3 on
yes,
Fox.
That's a big.
So yeah,
that's a big one. Very good. All right, thanks today to Drew. Thanks to Brenda Frese. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the
Can You Take Me Higher?
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Tomorrow on the program, Richard Sherman is joining the show tomorrow. Of course, part of Amazon Prime Video's coverage of Ravens. I almost forgot who they're playing, Steelers. I always swear to God for a second I was like, who are the Ravens playing? Yeah, Ravens Steelers on Saturday night. KZ will join us for picks.
Yeah.
Stuff and things. Thanks, everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Royal Farms, CIAA Tournament, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costa Sena, MSAA, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Maryland women. Go Loyola. Go Navy. Duke sucks.